So you're one of the most requested people that we would sit down and talk to.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Why do you
kinda
think
cool.
that is?
Charming, good looks.
Ruggedly handsome.
That's right.
How old were you when you had your first children?
We were youngins.
You were young. I was 19.
I wanted to say 20.
You were 19 when you gave birth?
I was, well,
you just turned
I
20.
just turned 20.
Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, like,
Pregnant.
for most
I was
of
19 when I got
And-
pregnant, yeah.
How old were you then when you got married?
I was,
You were 19, I was
19.
21.
yeah.
We didn't waste much time.
All right. Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
You know, societal norms tell you that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody, get married and have your kids young.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier when you're in your 20s to deal with a non-sleeping baby than it is in your late 30s
Amen, brother.
Or 40s.
or 40s.
Yes.
So you recommend that? Well, your children are now 17,
The
18.
twins are going to be
18.
18 in a couple weeks.
so that's like in 1 year they're going to get married.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I
Ben's
mean,
like,
they need to find some women.
It does require a spouse.
Yes.
I like Ben's face. He's like,
There are no candidates, if you will.
Currently.
Yes.
Currently.
I mean, a lot can change
So-
in 3 months, though.
It's true.
You know, when I was their age, I remember thinking, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I want to get married. I want to start a life. I don't even know any females. Like, how the heck can I make this happen? And then here comes Meg.
Here I am, the female.
So what do you mean here comes Meg?
So, are we going to tell our story? We're going
Might
to
as
talk
well.
about it.
How you didn't like me at all. You wanted nothing
Didn't.
to
She
do
was,
with me.
she was kind of obnoxious.
He's like, okay, we're going there. Or you said.
So,
This is going to be couples therapy.
yeah, I guess. There was a Bible study that we both went to that our moms took us to. Like, we were kids. We were teenagers.
Right.
Now, you both were homeschooled.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
both
Just in
homeschooled.
context.
This was had nothing to do with homeschool. It was called Bible Study Fellowship.
Okay.
We were in the youth thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was just something to do. And I had, how old were you? 15 when we met?
Yeah, I think so. 14. Yeah.
And you don't know much when you're that old. And so we weren't really even friends, but like our moms were friends. And so like we were acquainted and all that. There's a lot of this. How deep we going?
I don't. You go ahead and tell our story,
However
babe.
deep you
I'm
want
going
to
if he
go.
goes,
Yeah,
if he
this
goes too deep, Meg, just say, Matt.
Got it.
Bring it back.
So had been going to Bible study together. We knew each other. Like we were cool, but we weren't really like hangout friends or anything. Didn't really talk enough there because it's a Bible study. Like you're there
Yeah.
to do the Bible study, not hang out.
Right.
And there was like once or twice that there was like outside stuff that we went and did that our moms dragged us to. And, you know, we were older teenagers. Like we were both working.
Yeah.
It was just like probably wasn't going to happen. Well, anyways, I used to have a band way back in the day, and my drummer was a girl. Well, she was a lot younger than me. She was like 14, 15, something like that. You know, I was
Telling
like,
this part of the
oh,
story.
oh yeah, this
Okay.
is where it started for me. This is where it started.
You unleashed him, Meg.
So we would, you know, I think back, what were her parents thinking letting their, 14, 15-year-old girl
Hang
play
out with
drums
two
for
dudes.
a couple, 17-year-old dudes? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it was in my parents' tool shed. That was where we practiced. But, I mean,
Yeah.
if I were in that position, anyway.
I don't know. I want to say this was the 90s. What wasn't it? It was
This
the
was
10s.
like 2003, something like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
All right.
Close enough to the
okay,
90s.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
close
You know,
enough to the
people-
90s that
parenting was a
people
lot
weren't
looser.
doctoring.
Right.
It was a
It
lot.
was
I grew
different
up.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
It was.
So there was one night, the other guy in the band, he had to take off early, and I took this girl home. Well, on the way home, she's like, hey, I'm really hungry. Can we stop at, it was like Del Taco. Can we stop at Del Taco and get some tacos? It's like, sure, I got like $10. Let's stop. And so we stopped, we went in, we're sitting there eating food, and I see a familiar car go driving in through the drive-thru, and it was Meg's mom, and I see her younger sister, who was like, was she 8, 9, something like that, glaring at me through the window, just like shooting daggers at me. It was like, that was Meg's sister. Why was she glaring at me like that? Well, then the following week at Bible study, she kind of marches in the door, and she marches right up to me, and she's like,
Me,
so.
not my sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Meg.
It was me.
Walks up to me, and she's like, so, is that a girlfriend? I was like,
I did.
what? And right then it was like, I got you. You exposed yourself.
Yeah.
I know you actually kind of
I had the hots for Ben.
had the hots for me.
Wow.
So it wasn't too much longer after that. That kind of broke the ice, and it was like, all right, you want to come to band practice?
Yeah.
You were 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's hilarious. Your sister, did your sister know that,
So-
I guess? That you maybe
Yeah,
had an
she
interest?
knew that I
She
was
was like-
kind of.
Were you guys
yeah.
tight?
Me and my sister?
Yeah.
Not really at the time.
Okay.
No,
So, but she was still on the lookout for you.
I know, she was looking out for you.
she was.
Okay.
We're tight now.
Making sure that Ben ain't tripping around with some other girl.
No, that
So-
girl was not my type.
No,
She played drums really, really well. But
she had the hots for you too, though.
She did, and when me and Meg got together, it kind of ruined the whole band thing.
It did. I literally broke up the
broke
band.
up the band.
I did break up the
Why?
band.
Because
It
you
was
couldn't
me.
focus?
I don't know.
Well, and then
Well,
the
no,
drum.
because she left.
The drummer got upset.
Because
Oh,
she did.
that's
she
right.
was upset. I
Actually,
mean,
the drummer didn't leave. I got
kicked out.
kicked out of the band.
You got kicked out of your band?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was the lead singer and everything.
Because of me.
Yeah.
Wait, they kicked you out because you started.
They kicked
dating
you out and the
Meg?
band collapsed.
That's what happened.
It was just one of those things, like,
It just
it
imploded.
got to the point where it was like, I would rather hang out with Meg than
Yeah.
do this going nowhere band. And they were like, well, we don't feel that way, so we'll find a singer and another guitar player to replace you. It's like, all right, peace.
And
see ya."
another place
Yeah.
to practice.
It didn't end ugly. It was
Yeah, it
just-
Well,
didn't end ugly.
that's fine.
That sounds kind of like what we were talking about before the show about pigs. You know, they knock over their own water. They'll knock their own food into their own poop. They'll pee in their own wallow.
Yep.
No
Delete their
foresight.
bedding.
Break up your own
They
band.
broke up. They fired the lead singer and bass player.
That's right.
Okay, so
Bass
when you
player.
going to bring back the band?
Were you a bass player?
Oh, heck no.
Sorry.
He was the
player.
guitar
Lead guitar
player.
player.
Oh,
He was
Thank
guitar.
you
I
very
thought you
much.
played
Right.
bass for some reason.
yeah.
Why heck no? Is that an insult?
Anybody who knows any bass players, they're gonna know. Like there is something about bass players. If you've ever been in a band, you would understand. Like, sorry, any bass players listening, but it's true. You know it's true.
Hey, Matt, is this true? You're around a lot of musicians.
What?
That's what he does. Musicians.
Are you a bass player?
Oh, good. We didn't insult
Good.
him.
So we're cool.
But he
I was-
records. He records
I did
for
just
bands.
think about that. Like, oh no, what happens if Matt's a bass player?
There's a lot of stereotypes.
Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Alright.
Is this online? Can I like Google bass
Oh, yeah.
players
Yeah, you can absolutely-
stereotype and
you
find
can-
out what you guys are talking about?
Memes made about
Okay.
all positions of
Yes.
Memes
about lead guitarists and
I
singers,
fit
too.
the stereotypical lead guitarist.
He does.
Like it's
It's a
sad
bit of a
but
drama
true.
queen.
So, 16, 17 years old, your kids are that now. Is that not trippy? I'm tripping out. I'm
It's
tripping
very
out.
weird.
Because we met when we were 16.
Yeah,
Jonah's already past that.
Yeah.
we would already been dating.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Jonah would already have met his wife. Like what?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So we're raising our kids very differently than how y'all were raised and how we were raised. Are we making a mistake?
We actually have this conversation on a probably bi-weekly basis.
We have this conversation with each other, and then we actually also have this conversation with our children. Like, hey, do you feel like we're screwing you up?
Yeah.
They don't feel that way. So I
Okay,
guess
maybe we
that's
need to
good.
ask
Well,
our
hold on
side.
a second though. I don't think that we are raising our kids differently, but I don't think that we're screwing up. I think that our children are way more innocent than we were
Oh, totally.
when we were that age, and I think
That's a good thing.
I don't think that's
yeah,
I
because,
rush.
because there's so much time.
right.
Yeah.
You have the rest of your life to like be an adult. Why rush that into the teenage
Yeah.
high school years?
I
guess
You know what I
that's-
mean? Not that we're not. I do want to say that we are putting responsibilities and letting our children start to make decisions for themselves because they're going to soon. I'm not saying that we're like shielding them from all the things, but I think the way we've raised our kids is, I think, going to help them in the long run. I mean, I look at Jonah, and Jonah can have conversations with adults better than I could when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like,
So y'all had this doubt, and y'all even talked to them about it.
Yeah.
Just casual, or was it like,
Yeah.
everybody, let's sit down and have a meeting?
I mean, no,
Or just
it
like
wasn't a meeting.
at
I
some
think
meal?
everybody was in there.
So we were both homeschooled, and we came into the real world, if you will, already being outsiders. We were already different just by the way we were raised. Our parents raised us different, and once you start working, you're an adult. You're doing adult things. All of the homeschool hate that you hear your entire life, at least for me, it was. You'll never fit in. You're never going to be able to socialize. All of that stuff, I believed it. And I went into the real world, the workplace, expecting to not fit in. And you know what I found is I actually fit in with adults, older people at the time when I was, a teenager still. I fit in with the adults, the older people in the workplace, better than I fit in with people my own age. And I was completely okay with it. And it actually benefited me because every place I ever worked, go find the old guys.
I was
They're
gonna say,
the ones
who's
who know
the
everything.
boss?
Yeah,
Who's the boss?
exactly.
And, not that you're like doing anything wrong, but like
That's going to be an
forging
advantage.
friendships
It's an
with the
advantage,
boss
yeah.
is an advantage.
Yeah, so what's all this pressure to get your kids to like socialize? I don't know if that pressure's there anymore, is it?
Not since the internet.
I mean, we're so
I think
far
the internet
removed
kind of
that-
killed all that.
I don't even feel, but there used to be a talk and pressure of like,
I
if
feel
you
like
told somebody you're homeschooled, they would then say, well, then how do they socialize?
Yep.
But I feel
I
like
think that might be gone.
one, homeschooling's so much more widely accepted
Yeah.
than it was. I mean, when you guys were doing it, it was weird. I'm
It
sorry.
was.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
it
it
was
was.
very
It was.
weird. We know that. We
And
know
I
it was
mean,
very
not in a
weird.
bad way, but like it was weird.
Yeah.
And like did your parents like take you guys out during the school day? Was that because like I know some people that are so you guys are 10 years younger than us. So people who are our age that were homeschooled, they would say that their parents wouldn't take them to like the grocery
Yeah,
store in the middle of the week
many questions.
during school because there was too much like they didn't hide, but they didn't
No, it
like
was-
expose it. Whereas
right.
like now I don't care. I'll take my kids in the middle
Yeah,
of
and we don't get those
Wednesday at
kinds of
10
questions
a.m.
anymore. We don't get those kinds of questions.
No one
like,
blinks
are
an
you-
eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody
There's
thinks
other
of
there's
you
other
being at the
parents
grocery
with
store
their
with
kids
the
at
kid
the
at
grocery
Tuesday.
store. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's becoming more common now.
Yeah, I think it is.
So do you still feel that way, Ben? Do you still feel sometimes if you go to an event or something like, or a new place? Oh my God, I'm not. Do you still have that homeschool stigma?
No, actually, I think it kind of
Okay.
turned into something else. And now it's kind of I am proud to be different.
Okay.
And I'm proud that I don't fit in with society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that come along?
I don't know. I have never conformed to society. While all of my friends and family they were all going to college, I was working and starting a family. For a very, very long time, we were the only people our age that had kids the age. Like, we have always been alone.
Yeah.
It has been me and Meg and our boys. And we're just doing our thing by ourselves, just kind of minding our own business because nobody understands. Especially out in California. Our area in California, there was nobody our age with kids. And so we were extremely alienated. Like, it was weird.
Yeah.
And people just look down on you like, oh, too bad you have all those kids. And it's like, too bad. Like,
Yeah.
this was our choice.
It was. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. There's so much I could say. I would probably ruffle a bunch of feathers, but choosing to work hard and have a family put me in a way better position than a lot of people that I know that chose to go to college and they're just now starting their families. You know?
Yeah.
Wow. At like 35.
yeah.
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 So you felt alone growing up because you were homeschooled, and a lot of people weren't homeschooling. And then when y'all had children by yourselves, nobody else was doing it. And then, forgive me if I've missed one, but the next one would be alone in homesteading. Nobody was doing that.
No. We were weird because we had chickens in our backyard.
By
And
the
we
time
were-
you started growing your own food and having chickens in your yard, had everybody already written you off? Had you already claimed this weirdness, this lifestyle, or were you still
Or were people
suffering
still shocked?
and feeling alone.
Or were people still shocked when you were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this"? Were they
Yeah.
still like,
What I mean by that is
know what I mean?
Rebecca and I went down alternatives paths so much and for so long. By the time we converted a school bus to travel all of America, nobody thought anything of it.
No, they were
Yeah, I-
like, "It'll be fine for them. You guys always do weird stuff, and it works out just fine."
We had already been putting our life out there on YouTube. We had
Yeah.
already eat organic. We had already
already
grown
been
food. We
weird
had already
for a
homeschooled.
long
We had already
time.
home birthed.
Yeah.
So where was the homesteading? Were you was everybody like, yeah, there they are, or was it everybody around you being like, what in the heck are y'all doing?
I feel like by that point, by the time we were leaving California and moving, people were kind of like, okay, yeah, that sounds about something you would do.
Well, you had jammed out your yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were maxed out. I mean, we only had like an eighth of an acre.
People can go and see your. Do you still have those old YouTube videos up?
Fortunately,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
They
They're
are.
there.
Hey, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
they're
Still up
so
there.
bad.
Sit on the porch and
Hey,
let's talk.
it's good. It's so good that they're there because people can see how far you've come.
Yeah.
I
Ben's
mean,
face
us too.
or beard.
Hey, you know what's weird is every now and then I'll like go watch one of those videos and it's like, what has happened to me? I've aged like milk. Like this wasn't even 10 years ago. Like,
Colonel,
man, what the
smelly.
heck? Like I hit like 38 and it's just like, what's happening to me?
38. Something happened at 38, huh?
That's it. That's the edge. You just go
I
downhill from there.
I think that you're aging like. I think you're aging well, Ben.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
don't think I'm not looking at you like, oh, like if you.
What happened to you?
I'm thinking of like a cup
Pineapple got in the
of milk. And then, Ben, I'm not like I do not react to your aging the same way I would milk.
You're raw milk. You're not pasteurized milk.
That's right. You're just
right.
You're not
flat.
going putrid.
I'm turning to cheese.
Gideon and Henry made a smoothie the other day. And they put milk in it, of course, and pineapple and all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
See, I didn't know that. And so they went and
It
drink
just
it, and they're
curdled.
like,
Oh, yeah.
At first it's real good, and then it's like, and I said, what's the deal? And I want them to drink it because they're wasting all this stuff. And the aftertaste, like throw up.
Yeah.
Well, when they're editing, when my editor's editing it, and he comes over there, well, he's editing it, and Ashley heard it while he was editing. And she says, you got to tell him right now. Pineapple ages milk.
Yeah. Yeah, it curdles it.
Ashley told him that.
Yeah.
It's acidic.
Yeah. And he didn't tell.
Don't
He
ever
didn't
make
tell
a
me.
smoothie.
So she walked over here and told me. She was so excited to break the news. So you've just gotten some pineapple in your
That's
milk.
it.
Just got a little
Marinated a
pineapple
little
in your raw milk.
Pineapple's the only fruit that digests you when you eat it.
Yep.
Oh,
Does
really?
it really?
It does.
So wait,
Now
is
that's a
pineapple
mood
bad
kill.
for you?
I'm not in, in mass quantities,
I,
maybe.
I think you can
I've eaten
you can
mass
ingest too
quantities.
much.
I love pineapple. It's
But it'll make your tongue go raw
I
before you can
know.
eat so much that it'll actually.
You'll get other
Let's
warnings
just
from your
say
body.
I have eaten past
And
that
how do
raw
they know
tongue
this?
when I was a kid.
And what's funny is, how do they know this? That pineapple eats you.
Like seriously, one time my mom like threw a baby shower and there was the pineapple like on the platter.
Yeah.
And I just kept eating it and my tongue was like, screaming, stop. And I'm like, I just
Kept
can't. I
going.
just can't stop. Oh, hold on. Let's see. I can't take that. But I will call her back.
Okay, so where were we? Before we talked about pineapple rotting milk. Okay, so would you recommend this path for your own children? I mean, it's already.
It's a little too late.
I guess it's too late.
About them getting
Yeah, they're not
married
going to
young.
be at the same stage y'all were at.
I mean,
But okay, so they fall for somebody really hard in the next 3 months.
yeah.
They were ready to get married at 18. You go up for it?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, that's where it's different. I was already working full time.
I see.
Like I was fully
Yeah.
ready to just like leave. I was tired of being under my parents' thumb. Like I needed my own space at that point. Like it was going to happen sooner than later. And then when we got together, I mean, I slept at home, but other than that, I was never home. Like the only time I came home, like I quit eating dinner at home because we were always together. That's something that, that's loud.
FedEx.
That's something that was, I guess, kind of crazy. Was we got together and we just spent every waking minute with each other. We've always been best friends. We've always just clicked. We've been each other's best friends.
Yeah.
And it really happened so quick, honestly.
So how quick was it from the time you started dating till you got married or
It was
engaged?
2 years. Well,
Yeah, we
it
dated for
was
2 years.
Well, because you guys were underage when you met and
Yeah.
started dating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your parents thought you were nuts, or they're supportive?
They
They were
were
supportive.
supportive. Yeah, they were cool with it.
They
I-
saw
I'm
it.
pretty sure my mom was like, "Yep, out the door you go, be gone." That's all right.
My mom was probably the same way.
Were you
but
causing some problems at home?
I have always been the black sheep.
he's-
I am the most difficult child. All of my brothers and my mom will vouch for that.
I do like you didn't even know the story, and you took the mom's side. With Ben,
I don't even know your mom.
Because we know how this goes.
you knew.
Well, I just think the whole like the kicking, not kicking out, but like being okay with a child being gone.
Yeah. It's usually the ones you butt heads with that you're like, yeah, that's fine. You can move
Even
out.
the ones I don't butt heads with, I'm like, I can see the value of like. So we were with some friends, and they have an 18-year-old. He's gonna graduate from high school this May, and so we were kind of like talking like, so is he gonna stay at home and like go to a community college? Like, what's the plan? Like, what's he gonna do? And so and the husband's like, he's gone.
Oh, no.
He's leaving. Like he has to go.
Yeah.
Like he has to mature in this. And at first I was like, I like know these people. I've known them since I was a child.
Okay.
So like I really know these people. And I was just kind of like, this is so. It felt like it felt a little out of character. And I was like, what? But the more he like talked and like the reasons he was saying it, the more I was like, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Like, I get the wanting to like keep them at home, but also I get the like, let them learn.
Yeah, they have
At
to go fly.
18, not
It depends on the kid too. If
yes,
they need to learn that or
it
not.
does depend on the child, but also like I think it is good because if you think about like 100 years ago, like were people staying at home or when they were becoming like and not right at 18, it could be 20,
Right.
but like they were forging their own ways and it was beneficial in some ways. So anyways, not to hijack the whole podcast, but like the more he talked about it and for their family that is the best thing. I don't know if that's what's going to happen for us. But yeah, it's interesting because one of the reasonings was like he has a lot of his own ideas and he's like trying to impose them on the family.
Yeah.
And I was
Well,
like, yeah, I get that.
So what's your plan for the older kids?
Well, we're not kicking them out. And we've
Yeah.
told them we're not like booting you out at 18.
I don't know. I would like to say I have it all figured out, but I
know.
don't. Honestly, most days I still feel like I'm the age they are currently at.
Right.
Right.
It's weird. Something happens. It's called getting older. You wake up one day and it's like, I'm going to be 40 this year. What the heck? I feel like I'm 18. Like
Yeah.
18 was just like last year, right?
When I look in the mirror, I'm like, I don't look like this.
Yeah, I feel like I could
I'm
be
just
hanging out with
22.
them.
Yeah.
Like,
And yeah.
Kind of where I'm at with it. This has been a recent kind of thought process for me. For a very long time, I've been like kind of pushing them towards, you need to go out, you're going to get a job, you're going to yada, yada. You're going to do exactly what I did. And then it finally clicked one day. It was like, do I want for them what I experienced?
This is a good
Do I
point.
want them working 80-hour work weeks?
yeah, no.
Well, I know how bad that sucked for me. And sure, if you want to work an 80-hour work week, go find that job. There's those jobs out there everywhere. If money is more important than your sanity, more power to you. I don't want that for my boys. There is more to life than a job.
Yeah.
And I think what's been interesting is once we moved out here and there was some reprogramming I had to do.
For you.
For me, when I quit, I quit my good paying job and we sold everything and we hit the road. It was like, okay, like it's fine. What we sold our house and that was what we traveled on. That was a big chunk of money in the bank that we just lived off of. And it was like, okay, no big deal. But when we finally decided on North Carolina and we bought a place, we literally landed with $10,000 to our name. That was it. and we're looking at trying to rebuild a house and start a homestead and all of this stuff. And it was like,
And we didn't have a job.
didn't have a job. And I can't, like, there are jobs doing what I did, but I've got to get closer to the Gulf. I've got to get closer to any of the coasts. You know,
Not
I was
like in your town. You
not
can't.
in our town. Hour away in any direction, I might find something. And there's no way I would be able to do the homesteading thing if I'm working 80 hours a week plus a commute. So,
Let's have 6 kids
Right.
yeah. So,
Fourth.
and a sane wife.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
well, why come out here and just repeat what we had been doing?
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy to come out here and just continue doing what got us in this position of
Wanting
know,
to leave and
we were ready to throw in the towel on the marriage. We'd been married for 10 years,
Yeah.
and it was just like, what are we doing? Why are we? It got to the point where we were no longer having raging fights. We were having calm discussions, and it was kind of a scary place to be. It was like,
Calm discussions about
That was in
Splitting
California.
ours.
dissolving
Yeah.
your
like,
marriage.
how are we going to split this
That was in
up? and what are we
California
gonna
or
do?
here?
California.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you're like, oh boy, this is getting serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
so to come out here, and I guess one of the things I realized was a lot of my self-worth was tied up in a job title. And so coming out here, I've had to let that go and really focus on being a better husband and father, honestly. I've told a lot of people I felt like a stepdad to my own children because I didn't know them. You know, the last I saw the twins, they were 2 years old, and now all of a sudden they were like 13, 14. It was like, I don't know these boys. I was because I was never home.
Yeah.
So to want to impose that life on my boys, I feel that I'm still continuing to change my mind and my thinking on what life needs to be. So, you know, whereas I'm pretty sure Corbin is going to acquire some heavy equipment
Yes.
and he's going to disappear off into the wilderness and just run heavy equipment. Like, the writing's on the wall with that boy.
Very much. Will.
Yeah.
I don't know what the rest of them will do.
Yeah.
In that business, they can. They could.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
could work
And
from
he
dawn till
would be
dusk.
he would be as happy as a clam if he had tractors to run from dawn till dusk. Like that boy he has loved tractors since he was
Like tiny.
like 6 months old.
Big enough to like drive
reached
them
in
across
the
the floor,
reached
you
in
know?
the toy box, past all the other toys, and pulled out the tractor.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
that
this is it.
he's still that little baby. As far as the rest of them, you know, when you have your kids, you try to push them in the directions that you see interest.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can feel like you're just pushing in circles because they, you know, you get into something and then they lose interest and then they
Yeah.
go in another direction.
Where did you learn that? To push them in the direction where you see interest?
That was probably my parents.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's kind of like a homeschool.
that's an
mantra.
unschool.
Yeah, an unschool
unschool.
mantra. Yeah.
I know there was about a million things that my mom kind of pushed me towards, things that I had interest in. You know, I used to do archery and stuff like that, all those things that you do, and you look back later and it's like, you know, if I'd stuck with that, I might be somewhere with it.
Right.
But, you know,
But you didn't have that interest.
I didn't have that.
Yeah,
interest.
because I see that with our kids, like being like, "Hey, why don't you explore this?" And they're like, and I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not pushing."
No.
because
Yeah,
Because
but then
they're just
like
gonna be
Lily with
miserable.
horses, she's crazy about horses. We know.
we have not had
No,
to
it's
push
like Corbin
at
with
all.
machines.
Yeah,
so
there's no
it's-
pushing.
So
It's
we
like
can
her
support that,
dragons.
you know. But the boy, you know, their interests wane, or you know, that was a good way you put it. Circle.
Yeah.
You know, you had just talked about how.
Let me choke on coffee. Sorry, guys.
No, it's good.
All right, I'm done with coffee.
You okay?
Went right down the wrong pipe.
You can. Oh, we were talking before the podcast about how you had a dream to be a hairdresser. And my dad crushed that for you
Yes, he did.
because you know we were young when we met, and you were still a kid, really.
Because we were
And
going
as
to
a parent
community
figure,
college.
he crushed
Yeah.
that. He said there's no money in it or something like that.
He said there's too many of them. Too
It
many
was Boots that
hairdressers.
said this?
Yeah, Boots.
Oh man.
Oh, he was
Boots
a
is
dream
the one
crusher.
He said that. Well,
God
because
rest his soul.
he crushed your dreams.
I was
too.
going to be a forester. I was
You
going to
wanted
be
to be a
like,
forest
I
ranger.
wanted to be in the forest and be
Yeah.
a ranger.
And he's like, "You're
Oh,
gonna
there's
end
no
up in an
money in that or
office."
something.
And I mean,
Oh,
He's
he was
right.
probably
not
right
wrong.
about
He's
that.
not wrong.
I feel like he said it was no money in it, but
You can
he
make
would be
decent
right about the.
My grandpa was a hot shot, and he
What-
did eventually wind up in an office.
Yeah.
He hated it.
I know, right?
And I think that's what
or
happens.
leading other groups around
Yeah.
the same path all day long.
Yeah.
It's not like I thought it was.
no.
But anyway, what was the point? The point was, that's, your mom was pushing your interests and helping you pursue those. I think she was maybe a little ahead of her time, or doing something a little better than. I'm not saying she's perfect, but
She got that right.
our generation of parents, and probably y'all's too, of peers and things, weren't pushing our dreams. They were pushing the America's dreams,
Right.
society's dreams. You got to go to college.
Yeah.
We still see that pressure in some of our friends now with their kids will be still going to school with no vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's worse now. It's like
is,
tens
yeah.
of thousands of dollars in debt instead of just a few thousand back when
Right.
we were there.
That's how it was with my mom, because she came to me when I was about 16, and she was like, all right, the sit down talk of, you need to figure out what you're going to do with your life, because you're 16 now, and you're going to, grow up. And
Because you're 16 now.
I said, I want to get married and have babies. That was my dream.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, that's nice, but you really need to go to college and get a career, because if you don't wind up getting married or you don't have babies, you need something to do with your life. And
Right.
I was like, no, I'm going to get married. And
Yeah,
I didn't
but-
even know Ben at this point.
So
That's
Rebecca
hilarious.
was told, well, you need to go to school, even though she was going to be a homemaker, right?
Yeah, because we were.
That you need to go to
We were gonna
school.
get married. We knew this.
You need to go to school because what if you get a divorce?
What-
that was
what
my
happens if
mom's.
Justin
Yes,
leaves you?
That was
So-
my
Like,
mom's
They
attitude,
not
too.
just your husband, but it was specifically Justin.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were dating and we already knew we wanted to get married, but we were navigating all of that with the parents.
So there's a
the college.
societal there's a societal pressure to do a certain thing.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So we'll need
But
to
hold
chat.
on a second.
Yeah.
This was also the late 90s, early 2000s when college was something. I think that it's
Yeah.
just a very
Yeah,
different
it did
world
People are
nowadays.
listening now and
Yeah.
being like,
Like for us, I
But-
mean, we graduated high school in 97. We graduated college in 01. I mean, even us going to business school, business is different now.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like it is not the way it is. Like it's not. I mean, even with COVID changed it so much. Like people working from home, not having to, like
yeah.
I
I mean,
like,
if
it's
you're going
just
to take
wild.
business in college now, you better be talking about content creation
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
Online marketing.
Yeah, totally.
online ad strategies and all that kind of stuff, and
Right.
affiliate marketing.
The internet was new.
Yeah.
We took
Yes.
a class
Dude.
on how to build a website.
Oh, I did. That's what I did in college for my 6 months or maybe a year that I went. I did web design,
There was no Squarespace.
and you had to like
Yeah.
code
Oh.
it
Oh,
out.
Shopify.
There was no Squarespace. There was no way to sell online. You could just go find out about the product online.
Well, you could put
Yeah.
a PayPal button.
I don't even know if we had PayPal back then.
I did. You're 10 years older than me. so
Yeah, so 01, because we graduated. So we took that class from January to, and it was probably a new class,
yeah.
because the internet was new. So it was that last semester of college. We took that. So like January to May of 01, that was like new. There was none of that. Oh, I guess, wait, you were selling online then, yes?
I mean, like eBay was a thing.
I was ahead of it, man.
Yes, he was. I guess that
was-
you were, but I don't know. Like it was just very complicated.
Yeah.
Like we had to
Oh, it
pay
was so
someone to
complicated.
build a website.
Yeah, I had to hire my uncle to build the website.
Yes,
It was thousands of dollars.
My aunt's husband built websites that could.
And you could
sell
list yourself in
something.
a Yahoo directory.
Yeah.
I was selling mountain boards, so I got in the Yahoo directory, and you could apply. It was almost like paid search, but you didn't have to pay for it.
Right.
It was
wild.
that early. You could just, if somebody's searching for mountain boards,
He was
here's
doing
my
drop
website.
shipping before they were calling it
Yeah,
drop shipping.
I would
Man.
contact
Like-
suppliers and be like, I want to sell a mountain board. And then once I sell it, I want to come to you and I want to give you the money and you ship it right to the customer.
There you go.
Okay, and they agreed to
Drop
it.
shipping.
That's
I
awesome.
made
It's drop
35,
shipping,
50% on that.
Yeah.
And that's
Who
drop
invented
shipping
that,
before it
Jess?
was even a thing. But
He
But
just
don't
didn't-
you see
'cause
why
we didn't want to get the product here and then have to reship it. It
Right.
was so much.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
This is why we would question things ourselves now.
Yeah.
Like, are we, did it, our kids are so close, they're at home. I mean, we were mountain biking one Friday, and with my boys, and they're 15, 17 years old, and they're talking, what movie we want to watch tonight? He's not talking about, like, with the
Going
friends.
off with other people.
He's talking about, like,
Right. With
as a
us.
family, what movie we're
Yeah.
going to. I'm like, what in the world? Pinch myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when we were
They're
15
planning
and
their
17,
Friday night
we
with
were
me
not
in this sweet
No.
age.
planning our
And that's
Friday
such a
night.
sweet age, too.
It
They're,
is.
they're fun to be
Is,
around.
yeah.
15,
We
17-year-old
can have real
teenagers.
conversations.
Yes.
And yeah, and we sit probably every night. We wind up sitting around in the living room. If everybody finishes up chores, and we one by one trickle in, and we just sit and we talk for an hour before bed. And I was not talking for an hour before bed with my mother
No, they all come
Yeah.
into her.
or
She-
my sister or brother.
Yeah.
Either.
Because I'm getting
That's
getting
true.
Henry in bed, so we have a long ritual of like having to lay in the bed and eat a snack in the bed and drink water and that
Don't
like
forget to put on the
music.
the
we have
music.
we have music that we play that's to calm,
Right.
read books. It just takes forever. So the kids trickle in, and we have our conversations in there. Because I'm like, that's the weird part is
Because
having like a 17-year-old who wants to
comes
talk at 10 o'clock at night,
Josiah and then
and I want to
Lily.
be asleep.
Right. Right.
So here's one, because we have 17, 15, we have these teenagers. So we're like,
3 teenagers.
one teenager's driving off to go play soccer with some friends, but we're still wiping this other one's butt
Right. Right.
or having these conversations
strange.
about
It's
spouses. So how do you feel about that? Did we make a mistake there because we were like in this whole other stage,
Yeah.
and then now we're back into this baby stage, and we're kind of having to stay put.
Right.
You know what I mean? Can't
Yeah.
do like
You can't go running off with your
cool
children.
teenager
or-
stuff
Yeah.
with them.
That is. I do think about that sometimes. Like that is a little.
I feel like
hard.
yes and no, but it's nice because Henry kisses and hugs me.
Yeah, I'm not
and
sad
wants to
about it.
cuddle. Whereas like Joan and Josiah, like they'll hug me,
Yeah.
but like
It's the
I was taking
Side
Gideon
hug,
somewhere
Jeff.
today, and Henry saw me, and he goes, "I want to give you a hug and a kiss."
Yeah.
No one else came to give me a hug and a kiss.
So yeah,
So
they're
I
moving
do
on.
enjoy the
So-
fact that I have this little one that's behind, and I will.
Yeah,
maybe
that's
it's
good.
selfish of
That's
me.
good because the older kids will
Well, they want me to have more
Leave.
kids. They ask me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our kids
They'll be
do
like,
that
"Are you
too.
pregnant?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm not. I don't want to have any. I've told you this. I don't want to have any more children." Like if I'm like, "Oh, I don't really want to eat any more meat," they're like, "Oh, are you pregnant?" I'm like, "No, I'm not pregnant. I'm just full."
Right.
Like,
you always want so I think we're putting ourselves in their. I don't know. We're putting ourselves on them. I am
Yeah.
what I'm
And how we
realizing about
felt
this
when we were
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
we have
that
yet to
age.
deprogram
because
yourself.
like y'all are telling us no, they want more kids, and we're saying our older kids want more kids.
Yeah.
So it's
they
not
don't
a
have a
burden.
problem with it. Whose issue is it then? It's mine.
Societal, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are like, "Stop having kids." I'm like, "I have 5
Go do
children.
stuff with your
It's not that
teenagers.
many."
Everybody
Yeah.
in our family likes having these children. So
know.
what's the problem?
Yeah.
I heard, I think it might have been a sermon a long time ago about children coming into a family, the joy that it brings.
Yeah.
And it made so much sense to me. Yes, it does bring so much joy. Like, if you're not having to pay for it, sit
It's none
down.
of your business. Yeah. No, I think that's been one of the biggest blessings to me that I didn't realize my heart needed was having teenage children and then having babies and watching my teenage children with these babies. It's the most beautiful thing because there's no pressure on them to parent because they're not the parents.
Right.
So they just get the freedom of enjoying
The
these small
beautifulness.
children. And like they love Liliana and they love Elizabeth and they like tote them around and like
they play with them.
they play with them and like Liliana runs off with Brett and Corbin and they just go on these adventures in the woods and she's like marching around behind them with her sword and all that and it's hilarious and it's adorable and it's so good for my heart. I've loved seeing it.
How old is Brett?
Gonna
gonna be
be
16 this year.
And he is playing happily
Yeah, with our 4-year-old.
with his 4-year-old sister.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I'm like, this is so beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, I'll catch the 16-year-old or whatever playing Legos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Or
I'm
Jack.
like, I would have beat
he's-
up a kid if I saw him playing
Yeah.
Legos.
Yes.
I was that jerk.
So
no,
true.
we pulled up.
I used to make fun of people for still getting Happy Meals, and we were probably in the 6th grade.
Right.
That's like 10.
Right.
we
I was
pulled
making fun of people at school for still getting Happy Meals.
we pulled up to go swimming with another family that they aren't like from here. They're, you know, it was just, it's a very different scene with them, with those teenagers. They're very teenage-esque like we were.
Yeah.
And like we pulled up and Jonah goes, I forgot my goggles.
Oh, bless him.
And I hope that didn't just embarrass him. And maybe I'll make sure that he's okay with me putting that in here. But because I don't want to embarrass him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
but
that's
that's-
innocence. Like
right.
he's more worried about looking under the water with goggles than
Yeah.
about being cool with these other kids who are very cool. Like they're the very cool kids.
Yeah.
And so like
I love that. That's awesome.
I was like, when I heard him say that, I was like, I love him.
Yes. Yes. Like our kids, our
Yes.
teenage boys, like older teenage boys, are still running around in capes and swords and like, you know, playing Lord of the
beauty of
Rings,
it.
all the yeah. And I'm like, you have such an awesome childhood. And you are so much cooler than I was at that age.
Right? I was
Yeah,
like
what's
all
the
worried
hurry?
about what I looked like in a bathing suit.
Yes. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah, what's the hurry?
Do you
There's no
remember? Do you remember when you quit playing?
I was an older, like I was one of those people that Justin would have beat up. I think I was like 13 still playing with Barbies.
Oh, yeah.
But it was quickly after that I quit.
Why'd you ask that?
Because this is also something we've talked about as of late. You know, we've got next month we're going to have 2 18-year-olds. A couple months after that, all 4 of our boys are going to be teenagers this year.
Yeah.
Actually, I guess technically the older 2 are going to be adults. So
Oh my gosh.
They're still teenagers.
it's
though.
it's just weird to find ourselves here.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so we watch him playing, and me personally, I kind of wonder. It's like, man, was I still playing when I was 18? And then I think about it. It's like I was, but it looked different.
Yeah.
You know, by then I was playing music, and that music was a big part of my life when I was that age. You need something to do.
Yeah, you were playing still.
Yeah.
And so,
And you
like,
had
I
to-
was.
I don't remember playing. I was like
Yeah, we
chasing
used to play hide and go
boys.
seek.
I mean, I guess yeah, we would play. We played the dart game.
Yeah.
We all did. You guys have the dart game too? Where you
Just
would,
hide and go seek in the
hide and
dark.
Go seek in the dark.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like we called it the dart game. So when we'd get together with other families, we'd play the dart game.
Yeah.
In one part of the house, like. it
But
would be
you
the
probably
basement
mean
here, but-
play like with toys.
Yeah. No.
No, just playing in
Just, like-
general, any kind of
Yeah.
play. When we started dating, like there was a few times that, you know, because I still had younger siblings, like we'd play hide and go seek and stuff like
Right.
but the playing kind of becomes less and less the more involved in, I guess, life activities you get.
Yeah.
Work. And
I remember when I was a kid, I sat there playing, having such a good time with toys. It was such a good moment. I said, I am never going to stop playing. I see these, you know, I was thinking, I see these adults. I swear right now, I'm never going to stop playing with toys because this is so good.
Are you still playing with toys?
I have to
No.
say, I do have to say that.
I guess I
like,
go mountain biking and play soccer every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess so.
As like a mom, I'm now like realizing that my older 4 are gonna be, you know, we have 3 teenagers in the house, and Gideon's 10, and then Henry's 4. So I mean, I still have kids at home, but I'm also realizing that I need to find something to do with my time because my older kids are rapidly getting other lives.
Yeah.
Not that they're gonna like abandon us or anything, but you know,
Right.
like
They're going to have their own lives.
It
I
could,
don't-
it could happen this year, and you wouldn't even realize it until it happens.
exactly. And so I'm like, okay. Like I started thinking about this last summer because you know Henry's like sleeping through the night. Like
Hey,
I feel different. You know, like I'm.
He's wiping.
I know he's potty trained.
You don't know when that last one is.
I know.
It was just the other night. I'm like, wait a minute, Henry's sleeping through the night now.
I know.
And then he started stirring that very night, and you're like, Justin, you
I
jinxed
did.
it.
That's
I
it.
did. I was like, why did you have to bring that up?
She woke me up. I was sleeping just fine, Dad.
Me too.
So
That is, yeah.
I was just like, it just made me realize, like, I need to find something to do with my time, like a play, not, it's not playing. It's going
Yeah.
to be adult activities that I enjoy. Do you know what I mean? A
Right.
hobby of some
yeah,
sort.
a hobby, yeah.
Because I don't want to, I don't want to be a meddling mother-in-law, because I'm going to be a mother-in-law 4 times over.
Yeah.
So I need to, I want to do so. My idea. This is my idea. I want to do something that I can love and enjoy, and does take up some of my time, but also gives me enough free time that I can also be there for my children
Yeah.
when they need me.
Yeah, that's my
That's
thing.
my
Is I
whole
don't
thing.
want to, because like my mom, I mean, even before she was done schooling my brother, my sister, she bounced and she got a job. I mean, she didn't bounce. Shouldn't say that,
Yeah.
but she got a job, and she was in a circumstance like my parents were split up, and like she needed to have an income, but she wasn't always available when I needed her.
Right.
So like we had a very traumatic birth experience with the twins. They were 3 months early. And so I was in this point in my life where I was like, I need my mom here. And she wasn't available. And so that kind of shaped me in my thinking of like, well, I'm going to make sure I'm always available for my children, no matter what they need,
Yeah.
Maybe
and
they need
that's-
a nap.
Honestly, so one of my ideas was to be a doula, but I was like, I don't know, that might be too
On call.
too on call. So now I'm like, I'm gonna have to be a potter, I guess.
That's it. Yeah, there you
can leave
go.
it.
You can
You
walk
can
away
leave
from
it
that
at
for a
any
while.
I can leave the pots to themselves.
That's right.
And go help my family, and then I can pick it up, or a painter, something like
Right.
something creative. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to do something creative. And those were my ideas. So we'll see what happens with that.
I'm curious now.
Well, maybe that's why it's good then to have little kids, even though we have older kids, because we don't want to make our life theirs or something, or be dependent on them
Yeah.
for our life.
I don't. I listen to enough.
Yeah.
I just know that there's a lot of meddling parents in the children's lives that I'm like, I cannot be that. And I can see that I could be that if I don't
Find something else to do.
plan my life. Yeah.
Right.
Get a hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of this is. I mean,
Right.
isn't that what a lot of it is in
It
general?
is, and I think what's weird is like we're both at this point where we're thinking about this.
I know.
Where we're like, oh, this is part of parenting and adulting as well as like
Yeah.
making sure you're not a meddling parent, but you also have time available for your children. I was not
Yeah.
worried about this when I was 18.
I was you having these moments yet? You probably passed it. You guys are younger. You're like significantly younger. You're like 10 years younger, but we're in the same parenting stage. But Jonah was having a online lesson, tutoring, and he had his feet up, and he's slouching, and I go by, and I'm like, put your feet down. I come back, his feet are back up. Put your feet down. And then the third time I'm like getting upset, and but then I'm like, wait a minute. At some point, he's more of a friend or a peer or something disappointing me, and this is at a friend level versus I'm the dad. You got to do what I say.
Yeah, and then you
At
have
some
to sit
point,
and
we
look
got
and
to
go,
switch and
Right.
say, hey, wait, you just. I mean, you then have that conversation more like you're talking to a friend.
Yeah.
Well, it's more
Or-
like I'm paying
or-
for this, so you're going to sit and like pay attention rather than kind of be slouchy in this situation. And maybe it's not even.
And
a
then
big
for
Well,
that
yeah,
one, I
that's
realized.
important too,
For
but-
then I realized the teacher wasn't upset. She caught me. She heard it.
Yeah.
She's like, "Who cares?"
Right. So like we have this
So I just
conversation
dropped it.
sometimes of is what we're trying to do in like trying to like control them, I guess we could just say controlling. Is this moment worth our future relationship with our children?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because like yeah, there's things you have to do for training and just like adult training. Of,
Yeah.
Like, this is something you need to learn to like be respectful, and you need to learn to like discipline yourself, and like these things are important. But like am I getting mad at you because you didn't pick this thing up and now I'm losing my crap on you and I'm potentially wounding our relationship from here on out? Is that worth it? Because I have moments that I remember as a child where my parents like lost their crap on me. And I don't have a relationship with my parents.
Yeah.
So like these are just conversations that we have a lot of like, oh, is this worth the long-term relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's got to turn into a relationship at some point, as opposed to, yeah, I'm just keeping you safe and alive.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing so long when they're just little.
know.
Yes, and that's the hard time because you don't realize when the transition
Yeah.
is, and
No.
the transition is different for each kid.
It's
honestly.
so true.
Like we have, Brett at 13, it was like, yeah, cool, whatever. Like you're more mature. Corbin's about to turn 13, and we're like, we're just trying to keep you alive.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yes.
The age doesn't mean anything
It
necessarily.
does.
Yeah,
It's
so I
so
guess
true. I feel that deeply in my soul.
Yeah.
that's why we need to give ourselves less pressure about this 18 thing too.
Oh,
because
totally,
That's just
yeah.
a number.
Yeah, it is. It's just a number. Like Ben
Somebody
and I at
might
our
turn
age,
18 at 15, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Well, I'm also
They
realizing
might
though.
take till they're 22.
Yes, I agree.
Or
with that.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. We were just saying last night that we forget that Liliana is 4 because she acts like she's 10.
Yeah.
And so she does all of these things that are like, she
You have a
acts like
second
10-year-old.
firstborn.
Yes.
That's what you
Is
have.
that
'Cause we have a
Liliana?
second firstborn.
Right.
as
Eager to
well.
please and
Yeah. She's very
She's so
independent.
articulate. She
Yes.
can communicate and comprehend stuff. It's like,
Right.
is she really 4?
She's physically
This is
capable
your
of keeping
first
herself
girl.
alive.
What's that?
She's
that's your first girl.
Yeah.
They're much brighter
Yeah.
at earlier ages.
Not in a mean way. It's not. That sounded terrible. They just mature at different ages.
They're more concerned with keeping themselves alive.
Yes. Yes. It's funny because, when we had Lily, it's different. Like, so we have Jonah, he's the firstborn of the boys.
Yes.
And then Lily's the firstborn of the girls
Right.
and the only girl now.
Right.
So, like, it's just, and then Henry is the firstborn of.
Yeah, he's
Second
like a
first.
second. I call him a second firstborn.
Right.
Like,
Because
it's
he
wild.
acts like a firstborn child.
He does.
Yeah. Oh, that's how it is with Liliana.
It's hilarious.
He's eager to please. He doesn't take much. It doesn't take much correction to get him to do the right thing.
He's just, he's still very much a boy.
So I mean, really,
screaming.
Jonah putting his leg up. Geez, I need to let him make his own mistake.
Yeah.
Well, hold on
I
one
need
second.
to let
though.
him fail. I
But-
need to let the teacher, if she's upset about it, to get him onto him.
I agree
or him
with
to
that.
flunk.
But also, I do feel like because I know he's going to be 18 and he's going to have
Yeah.
to do things that he doesn't want to do when he's 18.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we were doing something after dinner, and like none of the kids were like paying attention. Like, so we're trying to do a daily meeting too, just for
Mm-hmm.
scheduling purposes at this point, because like we've got people going in
Yeah,
all different
now that they're
directions, and
older.
now we have to like sit down. So we're including them in it because it's their stuff that we're going off in these different directions, and so like they're not paying attention and they're goofing off here, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
Y'all, you got it. Like when we were group home parents, we had to sit through a Tuesday staff meeting every Tuesday, whether we wanted to be there or not.
All morning.
And they were talking about things
3
that did
hours.
not involve us, but we were there and we had to sit there and not. Phones weren't really a thing then. They were
Right.
flip phones, so there was none of that. But we had to like sit there and not be nodding off and be paying attention to what the person was saying, because it might affect us as the parents, the
Right.
group home parents. So like it's funny because one of our children in particular was like really pushing back on me about it, and I was just like, look, I'm not trying to control you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you
Right.
that this is a thing. So I feel like there are times,
It's good to crack down. Yeah.
but also letting him put his feet. I saw it and it didn't bother me none.
Yeah.
It's funny because I went in and he was and then Justin walked by and he was like, his feet are up. And I was like, who cares? Like, what are you getting your panties in a wad for?
Dad thing.
Out of all the things, yeah.
Get
I
your
know,
feet off
it's
the
so
furniture.
funny because
Right.
I was like,
And then it came down to, he disobeyed. I told him to put it down. I got to fight this battle.
oh dear, help us, I pray.
Well, okay,
And this
so
is what we tell Jonah though too. We're like, hey, you were our first,
Yeah.
and like we're still learning.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We
Like,
tell
we're not trying to like.
you tell that. You tell that to the twins.
to
the
the
big
twins.
the 3 big kids, so the twins and Brett, because they were like basically they were a unit for a long time. They get like really upset at how we discipline the younger 2 now. Liliana,
Because they get away with so much.
because she gets away with
You
so
would
much.
never.
According to them,
would never.
they get away with so much.
Yeah.
Or she gets away with so much. And so we have this
They're
conversation with them
parenting
all of the
experts.
time. It's
Yes.
they are.
they're totally parenting experts. You are such an expert when you don't have your own children.
I know,
I know.
right?
I knew everything about parenting when I was
Oh,
like
yeah.
17 years old.
Even with that first one when they're complying. You don't know this because you have twins, right? So it's different. But
Yeah.
when somebody has one child and it's their firstborn, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
That
And they're
child
giving-
does
And then
whatever
if
they
it's a
say.
girl, I'm like,
I know.
I think you're
right?
such the expert. I thought I was such the expert. I was like coaching other people.
Oh,
I need to apologize.
And now it's like the more kids we know, we're like, we know way less.
Oh,
Yeah, 6 kids now, and I'm like, I know nothing. I know. I'm just flying through
Surviving.
this. Yes, I just pray you all turn out somewhat normal.
We had someone come to us and they were like talking about I think he was like 2 or 3 at the time, their son. He was their only child. And he was very difficult. Like, it was very difficult.
It's the Jeep.
somebody's sitting on a pig.
Oh,
And so she like kept coming to us and we had many kids at that point and we knew nothing. We knew nothing.
Yeah.
And we would just be like, she'd be like, I need you to tell me what to do. And we're like, just keep doing what you're doing. Cause she would tell us what she was doing and she was doing a great job.
yeah.
And she's like, but I need to know. And we just tried to encourage her. That's all we could give. We could give no parenting
Yeah.
advice. It was just encouragement. It's hard.
Right.
Just keep doing what you're doing. The child will grow out of it.
Yes.
It's going to be okay. You know, 'cause
90% of parenting is survival.
it's true. It's true. It's kind of funny because like it's like the best thing in the world, but it's also like the absolute hardest
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And
Oh,
like,
it's the
why
worst.
Oh,
should
we say
do
all
this?
the time that parenting is the hardest job we have ever had. It is the hardest.
it
job.
is both the best thing in the world
totally.
and the worst thing in
Yeah.
your life.
Like I love having all of these children. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But it
At
can
no
also be-
point
So-
that I'm like, have I ever thought, oh, I wish I wasn't a parent. I've never ever thought that. In fact, we're like, hey,
Maybe we should
let's
have
add more
kids.
people. No, I love it, but it is the hardest thing in the world. If you are going to do it intentionally.
Yes.
That's why when somebody says, we're pregnant, I say, congratulations. And I'm sorry.
Oh no! Oh no!
Do you really?
Do you
It's a
actually
joke.
say that to people?
It's a joke.
I hope it's a joke.
I haven't pulled it off yet. Should I?
It's funny because like it's so hard because like those first years you're sleep deprived.
Oh yeah.
But honestly, I feel like those first years were easier than these teenage years. Not and our teenagers aren't bad.
Yeah, ours are great as well.
But the keeping them alive
It's a lot easier.
That
is
part, yeah.
easier
Yes.
than like the
emotional
the
training.
letting the
and-
go
yes.
and the allowing them to fail.
Right.
And that's hard.
Because it's a bigger fail.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is.
Yeah. But hopefully at this point it's not life threatening.
It's also
Yeah.
easier because you like I miss the days where we just stay home
Yeah.
and we're just all together all the time and it was fun and do you know what I mean? Because like now everybody has all these different things that they're going to and I'm like, oh, I kind of miss it. I
Yeah.
kind of miss that like being at home and slow.
Yeah.
It's so much slower when they're younger.
Yeah, it is.
And all we're talking about is a Sunday soccer match and
I know.
and a
We're not
Thursday
even
horse
talking
lesson.
about like so much.
Right.
But no, because like they do, like the boys will go off. They have a group of friends and they'll go off and do things. Not
Oh
all
yeah,
the
they
time.
just went to a play.
Yeah, like what night was that? That was Saturday afternoon. They were gone, you know, and it was weird. Lily was gone. Was Lily gone? Maybe Lily wasn't gone. There was one point where it was just Henry and Gideon. And Gideon looked at me and he goes, "This is what it's gonna be like soon." And I was like, "Yeah, it is."
There was actually a day.
kinda weird
It
to
is
think that.
weird. Yeah. The boys were working with some friends seasonally this past fall. And so it was the twins and Brett. And then there was actually a day where Corbin got to go as well because somebody was in sick. And so they needed extra hands. And so all 4 of our boys were gone. It was just us and the girls.
Weird.
And we were like,
Are we ready for this?
we're not ready for this.
I know.
It was really sad.
It is sad. Yeah, it was sad when Gideon said that. And I don't know that Gideon was like excited about that. I think he was just observing.
Yeah.
That like, and I mean, I've said that to him, like, hey, sooner than later, it's just going to be Gideon and Henry in that
Right.
room instead of Jonah and Josiah.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of like, that's weird.
It's weird.
It's hard to think about.
But hopefully they're just going to move into these houses.
There you go. You still have them around.
Housing is too unaffordable. This is what I keep telling
That's
them.
right.
You can't go anywhere. It's
Stay
just
here forever.
not
That's right.
It's not affordable enough.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
Having something on. Well, I would say that about homesteading. is that's one way we can get away with this.
Mhm.
I mean, if y'all are still in that 1/8 of a backyard,
Yeah, no.
there's nothing for anybody to do.
No.
No.
They'd be gone with friends.
They're gonna have to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, they'd be bored. They'd be so
Yeah.
bored.
Nothing for them to do or be a part of. And they're not eating you out of house and home. You're not paying for all this food.
Right.
Your boys are helping make all this food, so
Right.
they're not a
Yeah.
burden. And if anything, as they become teenagers, they're certainly not a burden. They're actually asset.
Yeah, they really
They're
are.
actually contributing more than they're taking.
Yeah, we actually talked about that too. It's like,
So
oh, no.
when Hurricane Helene happened, like I kind of knew what I had, like as far as a crew of young men at my disposal, but it wasn't until there was, 10,000 trees on our road,
Yeah.
and we're clearing our road. And at one point, I'm on the tractor, and they're all up there with chainsaws and
Yeah.
axes, and it was like, oh my gosh, like
Like we're getting stuff done.
we're getting stuff
Yeah.
done. Getting up to neighbors' houses, and these neighbors don't
Can't-
even know how to use a chainsaw. And it's
Right.
like, my boys know how to use all this stuff because they work with me every day. Like, it was a weird thing to finally, like, light bulb turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, like, what we're doing is doing something.
Right.
And I can see it with my boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I've recently thought, like, we expanded our garden. We are thinking about getting more milk cows. Like, we're raising 4 pigs this year instead of 3, because the food needs are greater
Right.
in our household.
Yeah. That's one
Because we
reason.
have so many big
Big men.
Teenagers,
Yes,
you know?
right.
Yeah, they're
and
eating
so,
more than me now.
but like I was thinking the other day about how we're going to shrink it back down one
Yeah.
day because they're going to be not on that food bill.
Right.
Now, maybe we won't because they'll be living close by and still participating so that they can have a share
Right.
of the food. But like it just kind of dawned on me at some point, Justin and I, if our children choose not to live this lifestyle and choose not to stay, which they could choose that, and I'm okay with it. I would obviously love for my kids
Yeah.
to stay close by and have grandkids close by and all of that. But I mean, if it ever becomes just Justin and I think we might just abandon the farm and get an RV and drive to our children's houses
There you go.
and have our own RV so that we can still be close by to
Yeah.
help when they need us, but yet not imposed on them.
Right.
Like Justin and I've thought a lot about this. I don't know about abandoning the farm. I just don't know if we could. I mean, we probably won't have a milk cow
Well, you
we
wouldn't
wouldn't
need
need
as
one.
much. Yeah. It was just
because we don't drink milk. I mean,
don't
we
have
just
to
eat
have
the
milk.
yogurt and cheese. So like,
I would just meat.
yeah,
you can just buy from a
just
farmer.
meat.
But they,
Yeah, exactly.
but they're drinking a lot of milk. But Jonah and Josiah are milking the cows by themselves.
They
now.
are.
Right.
Like I don't even have to milk anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just, yeah. Because I was thinking about that, like with the cows. Like, well, we don't even drink the milk. I mean, I do use the cream.
Right.
So
Life
I don't
would
know.
look different.
It's just like life is so crazy. Like I think one thing that I'm really grasping is the ebbs and the flows, the changes. Like I really enjoy our life right now, but I also like realize in 2 years it's probably going to be drastically different.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not going to like that. Like so trying to just really be present in this like now.
Yeah, I think that's where we're at too, is just trying to make sure we're focused on being present. Because, I mean, it's like you said, they could find a woman in 3 months and bounce, like
Just like I
like
did.
just like yeah, just like we
Exactly.
did, and we won't have them around to sit, until 10 o'clock every night, and so just soaking it
Although
in.
you got to be the fun house so that they bring their girls to you.
Well, yeah,
That's how I'm like, because I mean, see, you have 2 girls, so it's like you're gonna have 2 sons. You know what I mean? Like, because in our society, it's the girls that are closer
right.
to her parents. I am thankful for Lily. I'm so glad we have 1 girl at least. I was definitely meant to be a boy mom.
Yeah,
I am glad that I have 1 girl. We have so much fun together.
All I can think is I have to bring 2
two
Of these-
males.
punk kids into my house, and I have to accept them because they're who my daughters brought home. Like, it's a long time before I have to deal with that, but
It's on the
You're
horizon.
still you're
like-
you're letting
Well-
it, you're kicking
Yeah.
it around.
With you, I don't know if it's gonna happen like that.
Because they got 4 older brothers.
It's gonna.
yeah.
You're gonna know this kid
Probably.
Yeah.
before
It'll
he's
be-
interested in her.
Yeah.
That's why we like have a friends group. It's like you gotta like connect with people who have kids your age that are kind of living this life and
100%.
doing.
Right.
You gotta network. Kind of keep a potential pool going on.
Yeah. Not that they'll wind up with any of these people, but
It's
Well, I'm
not
trying to
arranged
figure that
marriage.
out,
It's
and I'm
trying to-
arranged
It's not
options.
arrangement. That's right.
Arranged options. like,
Arranged options.
Choose from this pool.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
They
You
could
guys
find somebody
all-
anywhere.
Everybody knows that's not how it works.
No.
I know.
Well,
They could go to Starbucks and meet the love of their life.
could.
Well, it's funny because we've encouraged our boys to, if they see somebody out, invite them to come play soccer with our family
Yeah.
or come swim in the pond. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
and they look at me like I'm
I
crazy.
know, they're so
And Austin,
funny.
he grew up like we did, and he'll be like, "That's our editor." He'd be like, "We used to go to the mall to talk to girls." Matt's shaking his head like strange girl. Like this is not
our
strange.
children are like,
You can
would
go- if
speak
you
to
see
strangers.
somebody-
Strangers?
That's kind of cute. Go, just
I'm like, I don't want it to be like vain, but I'm like, if you see
I don't know if
somebody
that's how it happens anymore.
that you,
I don't know how people date anymore.
I don't know either.
Like,
I mean,
you
we
know,
were like you guys, like we were together in high school.
Yeah.
Like, so
Caught the
it's
last
just-
chopper out of Nam.
That's right.
People don't go to the mall anymore. I don't think. I don't think people go to the mall anymore.
I don't think that.
I don't think
There
there
even
are
malls
malls anymore.
What?
I don't even know.
I think
there
Asheville
malls?
Mall is a thing, but I don't think it's like
I
it
know.
used to be, where it was like a hub of activity.
Yeah, I don't think there's
like
malls
I don't
anymore.
think the mall is a hub of activity anymore, like it used to
No.
be.
Not for teenagers. I don't know what
Get
they're
an
doing.
Orange Julius and
A lot of it is them online. They're getting a lot of their social. Oh, hey, can't they just get the Tinder or something?
Oh my word.
oh my gosh.
We'll help them.
Let's not go there.
We'll help 'em.
No, you're scrolling for them.
No,
This
No,
one's cute.
no,
Let's reach
no.
out.
no.
I don't know exactly how that works. I
No.
do
What's
hear
it
you
called?
scroll it through it.
What's it called?
Oh, Farm Match or
Farm
something.
Match.
Farm
Stop.
match.
Oh, I'm
my
gonna tell you guys
gosh.
this though. You guys have been to events. It's older people or very young families. I don't see a lot of teenagers.
No.
There's not.
So where are they all at?
I think
They're
that
at home doing the chores.
that, or
Somebody.
or I think that they were doing the homestead thing when their children are young, but then as their children got older, it dissipated. The homestead dissipated, and they went into like a regular societal life.
Yeah. Well, people.
Maybe, and I don't know if that's true.
We've actually met a lot of people at the events we meet. They're coming into homesteading at an older age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Everybody at a homestead event, they're new to homesteading.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
Usually.
And so they're coming into it at an older age, or they're
And their
parents
kids
still in
aren't
their 20s
interested.
or 30s,
Yeah.
and they have very young kids. Because it would be hard to be having teenagers and start living this lifestyle.
I mean,
'Cause did
people
you
are
guys
doing
even
it.
know?
People are doing that. It's difficult, but people are doing it. I see like on Abundance Plus forum, they'll ask like how they get their teenagers involved, and that's hard because
yeah.
when like, could you imagine if we were living a regular life and then we were like, okay, we're gonna do this,
No.
like our kids would not have
At this
come
age,
into
yeah,
it.
they'd have a
I
really
don't
hard time
think
with
you
it.
know such a lifestyle that it is, do you? I'm speaking for ourselves maybe, but did you know that when you got into homesteading, I don't know, maybe you can tell us why you did it, but we just got in it just to eat healthier food, and then all of a sudden it's this really conducive lifestyle for a healthy lifestyle, where sun exposure, cold exposure, exercise,
circadian rhythm.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
and then now with like keeping the kids around, it's conducive for that. A little tiny 2-year-old can pick an egg, and then a 17-year-old can run a machine.
Right.
So it's like everybody has a job on the homestead, but we didn't know that,
Yeah.
no, we
No,
didn't.
we
know that.
didn't.
and we didn't
Same.
even know the commitment either.
No.
Like at first, we didn't figure out. Well, you could just keep your electric now, hot, not even have to put up chickens. We didn't know that. We were going home and putting up our chickens every night.
Yeah.
So we had to lead the social party early. And then we got really hardcore, and we got a cow and a calf, and so we had calf separate at 3 in the afternoon.
Right.
Well, it's
So then we
funny.
had to be home at 3 in the afternoon. So then all of a sudden we're just these hermits.
I know.
Right.
Isolated.
Yeah.
Did y'all know
Not
what
like
you were
on
getting into
purpose.
when you got into homesteading?
No, I mean,
When you came to North Carolina,
we
it's one
like
thing to
being
do 1/8
hermits.
acres.
Yeah. Like I would say we're an accurate representation of a hermit. Like we lived in the trailer and traveled across the country. Our home was on our back.
I
Like,
have to say,
Right?
I liked that. The bus, having the bus now when I travel and I'm like, don't have my bus.
Oh, I
with me,
Right?
know.
I'm like, it's a nightmare.
Such a pain.
it is so nice having your
Everything
mobile
Everything.
bathroom, kitchen,
Yes.
everything with
Coffee
you.
maker,
Yes.
everything.
Your cast iron, your favorite knife.
Yes.
Like, it's great.
We'd stop on the side of the road and make lunch, go to the
I know,
bathroom.
us
And now it's
too.
like, I gotta use a public restroom.
I know. No, you know what we did in our trailer?
We gotta
I think
haul
it was your idea,
coolers.
Ben. The
You made
compost
the-
toilet.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's so nice.
yeah.
We stop even at Buc-ee's. I'm like, I ain't trekking all the way in there.
Oh, I
I'm
go
just
into the
trekking back to
Buc-ee's.
my
I go
trailer.
into the
Right.
Buc-ee's.
I've
It's
never-
clean and private.
I've never been
No.
to a Buc-ee's.
They're private stalls.
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
It's a haul from the car to the bathroom. Is a haul. I'd rather just pee in the trailer in my compost toilet.
Buc-ee's is nice. You get private toilets.
That's good.
That is nice.
It's walled all the way down, thick. It's clean. They're known for their clean bathrooms.
It is clean.
How's the rest? Like I've heard
yeah,
It's junk
you've told us
food.
about the bathroom.
it's just all junk food.
Oh, of course, it's junk
Oh.
food.
I mean,
It's
they
just-
might have like pirate's booty. Like it's just like a more natural health food snack. But
Slightly
I don't even
natural.
know if they have that.
Yeah.
They have chapstick.
Okay.
I was with someone who bought chapstick.
Who?
Is
I'm
that
too
gluten
close?
free?
It was Paige Jackson.
You got to get closer, Rebecca.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
You're so.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I probably pulled you.
Sorry.
There you go. Get the ASMR going.
I know, right?
So y'all can see why we wonder, oh, are we doing the right thing? You know, as they get timid, because of the way everybody else is doing, or the way we grew up was just so different.
Okay, I have to say something to that.
Uh-huh.
One time I was talking to a mentor and I was concerned because I didn't want to make this mistake with my children. And I was like talking about this and like, how do I not make this mistake, you know, and this, that, and the other. And he looked at me and he said, you know, you're not going to make that mistake. And I said, how do you know that? And he goes, because you're conscious of it. Like, you know that this could be something that you could fall into. And so I don't know, by us asking that question, are we not going to fall into the trap because we're conscious that there could be a trap? I don't know. I just like, it always stood out to me that when he said that to me, because I was like, he doesn't know the future.
No, but I think I see his point. I think that's very wise because I think there are a lot of people who are parents that don't consider what they're doing in their parenting.
Yeah.
And they, I don't want to say run wild, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And they do wind up affecting their children in the long run because they aren't thinking about how their kids are going to turn out by making whatever this decision is.
Yeah. I really hope that my kids don't need to go to therapy and talk about me.
I feel like our kids are going to be okay.
I do too.
Both of ours. I really feel like they're going to be okay.
they're going to be okay. I just wanted to be like, you know, on Instagram, you see these like reels of these families that actually get together. And I'm sure there's problems in the families
Right.
because no one's perfect. But like they can all be in the same room and they all seemingly get along to an extent.
Yeah.
That they're like laughing and playing these games. Like
So-
it's particularly at Christmas.
Are you
know?
doing that now? Is that how your family
Yeah, I
life
mean,
is
we're
now?
trying. I
Then
think
I would
we
say
are.
it's probably going to carry through. Because I
Oh, that's a
grew
good
up.
point.
I think part of the problem is that we have the 4-year-old and we cannot play games.
Yeah, but
With
your
the 4-year-old,
family-
but
right,
yeah, but we
your
are having
family
fun.
culture
Yeah.
is very together. I grew
It
up in a
is,
house where
yeah.
we didn't even have dinner together.
Okay.
I mean, you know, Christmas
wow.
and Thanksgiving. Like that
Right.
was our sit down
Yeah,
dinner.
Rebecca,
wild
we
to me.
practically have 3 meals together.
I know we do. We have 3
day.
meals.
We do too.
A day. Yeah.
We do.
I
All
love
of our
that.
meals are together. All of our conversation time is together. Like so much
Okay.
so that it's like y'all need to go find something to do.
Like we
Mom
had
and Dad
to,
need some alone
we had
time.
to institute coffee time.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're drinking coffee, it's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever. Y'all kick rocks
Right.
Okay.
for an hour,
Right.
so we can have an hour alone to just talk.
To have
But
conversation.
if your general family culture is you
Yeah,
are
that's a good
together
point.
all the time, then I really do think that's going to carry through.
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, because
I
think
never
about
thought
our
that.
cultures growing up. It was not, let's stay together. It was everybody figure out what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lived in our rooms. We ate in our rooms. We had TVs. in each
Really,
room.
you
Oh,
ate
yeah.
in your rooms?
Oh yeah.
Like it's wild. We listened to a podcast of like this person, this teenager who got like really famous on TikTok, I think.
Okay.
And they
Charlie
were
D'Amelio.
okay, they were being interviewed by somebody else. I don't know who it was. It was a podcast, and we were listening to it. And the
parents
were on with her, and they said, "Yeah, like we realized that they're going to be going to college soon, and so we started doing a family dinner one night a week." And I like literally paused it and like had to rewind it because I wanted to make sure that I actually heard that correctly. One night a week.
As they're going into college.
Yes,
It's too late.
I was
too
like,
late.
I mean, okay,
whoa,
it's never too late,
well,
right?
it
Like
blew
you can
my
make,
mind though,
yeah,
but it just blew my mind that like.
right.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
too late
eating
to change
dinner.
the culture, the family culture.
The family culture. That's gonna
See,
take a
we
lot
ate
of
dinner
work.
together, so we had dinner every night
Okay.
in our family. So we
We did
ate
too, I
dinner,
think.
but we didn't. Like breakfast was obviously like different times because we had different schedules, and then lunch was at school. So, yeah, but every night, and I feel like I'm pretty close to with my parents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
yeah, I would say you were very close to your parents.
Yeah,
Like
so-
seeing
So then what made you want to, well, was it that moment that you talked about earlier? Like, I'm going to do something different
yeah.
for my kids?
I was so lonely as a child because we each had our own separate rooms, and we each had TVs in our rooms. Wow. And then, my mom had her room, her area
Yeah.
and her TV, and my grandparents had that because we lived with my grandparents, and they all each had their rooms with their TVs.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2.
Okay, so there's
So
3
me
total.
and my sister, she's 6 years younger than me, and my brother's 9 years younger. And
Okay.
so there's an age gap. Like that's
Yeah.
part of it too. But that doesn't change the family culture. Like we all were separate, we lived
Right.
separate lives, and I was so lonely and I hated it. And so it was like, no, we're gonna eat. And then I found Ben, and Ben's family ate dinner every night together, and I was like, this is the most magical, amazing thing ever. And I can say that it does carry through because when we were there, we did all spend all of our holidays together with his
Okay.
family. All the brothers
with
and
your
sisters came
siblings,
together. Yeah.
Ben.
And we would sit around and laugh
Have fun.
and joke and barbecue. And
Yeah, I feel like that's what I want. Like,
Yeah.
I want my kids to want to come home and want to be with their siblings and look
I
forward
think,
to it.
What'd
Yeah,
you say?
I think she makes a good point. I'm hopeful for it. My
Yeah, I
parents,
mean-
had we wanted to come back to, it's like we weren't invited. My parents, it's like there was nothing to come back to.
Well, see,
on a
your parents
weekly.
divorced.
Yeah, so that,
So
didn't
that
help
was
the
different.
situation.
So then,
So
you
that
know,
definitely messed things up.
with my
Yeah.
parents, there was, I could call my parents on any given night
You knew
years
that you
ago
could go and
that
have
I
supper
could
with
go
them.
have supper with them if I
Yeah.
needed to.
Yeah, because
That
they
was
set
your
up that
family
family
culture.
culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, divorce will mess up the family culture.
It will.
It really
Yeah,
does.
my parents were divorced.
So then you have maybe something your mom might do that is her culture, and then something that your dad might do is his.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so then if I'm 14 and the family culture becomes on Christmas Day driving to mom's and then driving to dad's,
Right.
then that's just sorry. I don't want to have a part of that when I grow up.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
honestly,
don't be surprised if I don't want to be part of your holidays when
Yeah, exactly.
I'm grown.
well, and that was part of it when we were married. When we were first married, we would go because we had no kids.
Right.
It was easy. But then when we started having kids, it was like, you want me to do what?
This is a mess.
I have to drive here. And I mean, we're all over the county, all over the
Right.
county because I want to see my family. And then we got to see 2 people on his side. And I'm not kidding you, one Mother's Day, I remember we went and spent time with my mom, and then we went and spent time with his mom. And then I was like, what about me?
Yeah.
Like, I'm a mom too.
And now
Not being selfish, but just kind of like, there's no celebration of my motherhood.
well, and you're a stressed out mother because now you're dragging your kids all over
Yeah,
the place and they
oh.
need naps and they're
We were
hungry and they're
so
tired.
tired. I think that's when we said we're not doing that anymore. We were so tired. I felt like it was like we were in the car so much because it's 30 minutes anywhere you go, And so it was just like we were just dragging people around.
Yeah, we got to the point, I think it was not too long after Corbin was born. So, that's 4 kids. by
That's
that
a
point.
lot.
And we were like, hey, we're going to make breakfast on Christmas morning. You're welcome to come to our house and do Christmas here. Mm-hmm. If not, that's fine. No pressure. Whatever. It's all good. But we're not going anywhere because our kids need to have Christmas. at
Yeah,
their
we
house.
need
They-
to have
they-
traditions.
They would get up, they would open their presents and be like, okay, now we have to go to grandma's house and
Yeah.
other grandma's house and
Grandpa's
grandpa's house,
house
like,
and-
you
yeah.
know, all that.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
They wouldn't
Too
even
many
get to play with their own
grandpa,
toys.
too
So
many
I-
grandma and grandpa houses.
I think what it is for me, like, and that comes back to the RV comment, is that I'm like, I'm one adult or 2 adults. We're 2 adults together. I think we can make our way to the grandkids.
Right.
instead of being like, everyone has to come to my house. In fact, we hope our children stay on property because we already have it that we're going to go pick up all the grandkids on Friday night on the property and give the parents
That's great.
a night's
That's
sleep,
fantastic.
and we will take the grandkids, all the grandkids. They will have cousin time,
Yeah.
and we'll do all the fun things. We'll watch a movie and make popcorn and all the things that you do, and then the parents can come on Saturday morning whenever they want, or Saturday evening, afternoon, whatever, and they can get their kids back, and they can have some time alone.
I love that you're
And I
already
think that's
planning
because we just so desperately wanted that for our kids.
Yeah. Hey, that's another trick if you want your kids to stay around and be around when they're older. Serve them like you just said.
that. Well, yeah.
Offer them something, not be always asking them for something.
Yeah.
Well, and, people ask us a lot, like, "Oh, was it so hard for you to leave California?" And I mean, it is hard to leave our family, but I won't try not to be mean.
Careful how you say what you're going to say. I think
Yeah.
I know what you're going to say.
I don't want to be mean, but it wasn't as hard as it could have been had our parents been more inclined.
Would you have
to
left
help.
though?
Yeah, right.
If you had like what I'm talking about,
I don't
you
think we
probably
would.
wouldn't want to
Right.
leave.
No.
I mean, I realize like it's
Ben's
so
like,
it's so
I don't know.
nuanced. It's so
California.
nuanced.
It is. It's very nuanced,
because
yeah.
it's California. But I'm just thinking like even with my kids, like that might be great, but they are also going to marry somebody who has another idea too.
Right. Yeah.
So I have to be very
Very true.
open-handed
Yeah.
with all of this. Like I hope this happens, but also being like this.
Right.
If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be okay with it too. You know, I really hope it happens. But if it doesn't, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And we'll drive our RV to you.
Right.
So we have some Catholic friends. I always appreciate my Catholic friends because they have something sacred in their life that they do at least once a week with the Mass. If not, some of our Catholic friends are daily Massers.
Yeah.
And they have this, I don't know, higher sense of something. And then, but anyway, the one friends, they'll have a meal after Mass. And that's their tradition. And their older kids come over and have that. And so I was like with Rebecca, what's our weekly thing that everybody could come over as an adult? It's kind of nice to have that centerpiece, but we don't go to church.
No, but you could do Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, particularly here in the South, you do
Yeah.
Sunday dinner. You go to church and then you do Sunday dinner, but you could still do Sunday dinner.
And from
Yeah.
the South, dinner is, you're talking lunch.
Right. 1 o'clock. Yeah. And you
See,
could do
but
that.
if my boys marry a
Yeah.
church-going girl and they're going to church, they ain't coming here. They're going to go to her parents' house.
Well, maybe.
So that's why I'm
Well-
like,
It
let's
depends.
do
Well,
another
if that's
night.
her
Well, I was
family
going to
culture,
say
though.
Friday
That's
night.
true.
Friday night is our culture. We watch it.
Yeah.
We eat something we cheat.
We cheat.
You be eating gluten,
We eat our.
Rebecca?
We eat
No,
our.
we don't even
We
eat
eat our.
gluten.
Our cheat is like gluten-free pizza,
Yeah.
Yeah.
honey sweetened tea.
I mean, like, it's
We're really
we're
naughty.
Guys are so
really
cute.
just wild.
Sprouted popcorn for the
We're
movie.
wild.
They're off the wagon.
Here, I thought you were getting Little Caesars. Come
Uh,
on.
No,
I
our
was
cheat
gonna
is
say
like
it'd be
not
Friday.
just meat and vegetables.
It could have
Right.
been Friday, but now you gotta. We gotta have to babysit the grandkids that day. So
But you don't have grandkids.
Well,
yet,
they could all come, bring the grandkids,
You could
eat
do
a
dinner,
nice dinner
and then
if
they
they
can go
want.
home.
If they want, if they don't want to go have a date,
Yeah.
and then they can go do whatever they want, or just
You
drop
guys
the
will figure it
grandkids.
out.
Yeah, I know. I'm
But the
not
fact
too
that you're
worried.
thinking about this now is like really amazing because a lot of parents don't think
Yeah,
that far.
and then
into
when
the
it
future.
doesn't happen, they're like upset.
They're very upset. Yeah. So you
Oh,
do have
really?
to. You
Well,
have to
'cause
keep
I
it
have
going.
or
a-
they don't want it.
Well, I have a friend who was like saying like, well, I wanted my daughter to live down the street from me, and I'm like thinking in my head, well, you got to be working on that when she's 15.
Or you got to be
Not
fun to be
she's
around. You got to
five.
be encouraging.
Yeah.
You got to be
You
not
can't
telling
be-
him to put his feet down. like
Yeah.
during
and not
lesson.
freaking out if she doesn't.
Yeah, and it just made me realize though that, okay, well maybe because of the way we're trying to set up our life now, that it's gonna be. It could maybe happen.
Yeah. I think what's hard is, and we've kind of talked about this, a lot of people don't realize that they're missing the family culture until they have grandchildren. Because then they go, oh, well, now there's these new children that they want to spend a lot of time with. but you kind of miss the boat with your own children.
Yeah, and they don't necessarily
It's
want to
hard
spend
to
time with
do
you.
it.
And now it's too late because they don't want to spend time with you.
Yeah. Okay, so Ashley and Austin are, we hang out with them. I treat her like she's my daughter-in-law,
Yeah.
and Austin like he's my son,
You get practice.
so that I'm practicing.
There you go. Good job.
Because I'm like,
So that's why you
So, like,
keep
the-
your mouth shut with Ashley, and then you bust Austin's balls for
Mm-hmm.
getting in MMA.
100%.
You ride him all the time for
I
that.
don't ride him all the time. I make comments
good practice,
occasionally. Just like, are you sure you want to do that? I did say to him today, did you get that disability insurance that we talked about? No.
So he
Okay.
comes in with his first MMA injury, and you're just like, punch him while he's there.
No,
Right.
we've had this conversation a
told you.
long time
So you sure you don't
ago.
wanna
Should have done that.
No, I just said, like, because I know he's going to do this, and that's fine. But I'm like, you could get injured, and you need to provide for your family.
Right.
I mean, like, there's disability insurance. Just just check in. Like, you have life and
There's-
disability insurance. Because if you're going to do something that could disable you, you better have something to insure that.
If he's your son, you got to push them in the direction of his interests.
That's right.
I'm
Write
not.
it down.
Wisely.
I
Write it
am
down
not.
wisely. She added wisely.
I'm
Yeah,
not
wisely
telling.
on that.
I just like. I don't know. It worries me because these MMA people, like, they get brain injuries.
So, are you going to let your boys be rodeo cowboys?
Want to be?
You know, we've
Riding the
I'll
bull?
go and
if that's their interest?
support them going like this.
we've all been doing mixed martial arts for 2.5 years,
Yes.
and we actually finally just quit the dojo we were going to because it wasn't violent enough. we
And Meg laughs. She's
we were
okay.
not getting out of it what we wanted.
All right.
Yeah.
So I need to go talk to Austin, figure out where the heck he's going, because
Coming up,
we're
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
doing somewhere in Asheville.
He's got a good one.
gosh, no.
gonna have to.
Maybe you need to come to Asheville once a week.
So
I don't know, Ben. It's so.
I think I've broken both feet in the past 2.5 years,
Wow.
like from kicking.
Yeah.
Like me and the
More
boys
concerned about your
spar,
brain.
and
I'm worried about the brain. I'm not really worried about your feet, although you better get some disability
it,
insurance.
it hurts
Benjamin.
if you miss and you kick someone in the shin with the the wrong part of your foot, and you hear a crack, and it wasn't a toe. It's not very fun.
Yeah.
But
That's terrible, Ben. That makes my mom heart
okay,
sad.
let me kind of talk about that for a minute. So doing that with my boys completely changed our relationship, my relationship with them.
Yeah.
In what way? In the
Vastly improved. I went from just being dad to the alpha male of the pack.
okay,
And not in a
not in a forceful way.
No,
not in a
like
forceful way. Like
they're friends now.
like
Yeah.
They're
these
friends.
dudes have my back so hard. They are willing to beat the crap out of somebody at a moment's notice anywhere. If we go out in public, they'll be like, "Hey, Dad, that guy was really giving you the hairy eyeball." And it's
They'll
just
be like, "You want me to go take care of him?"
pretty much, and it's just been
Sounds
amazing.
like Cobra Kai.
I know,
It's
right?
like-
It kind of is. They all have these red geese. They look really scary. Yeah.
But the unintended consequence of getting beat up by my children was how it changed our relationship.
Because it kind of puts you on like a similar level. They were comfortable. They're now comfortable coming to him because they're like, "Hey, Dad will let us beat him up," rather than like constant
Yeah.
fear of, "Oh, Dad, we can't do anything to Dad because he's like big and scary."
Oh, once we put on gloves, we can beat the crap out of
Yeah.
Dad.
And he's cool with it.
Well, that's fun.
I'm not gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That was something that was really, really cool.
So I'll take you back to where you said that you had that work crew and you guys would go and do that hurricane relief. Well, we felt that. We were on the other end of that because you guys came here 2 or 3 times and just girded up your loins, just hopped out of the truck with your own tools, your own cement, and just got to work. The boys are out, goofing off right now, playing airsoft, but not that day. Everybody helped all the way down to Corbin.
About down to Liliana.
Yeah.
So that was neat. That was
She out
neat
there
to
too.
receive that. And I think people see that too on your YouTube channel. It's hard to not hear the haters,
Yeah.
But most of everybody is lovers, and they appreciate a family that's, sticking together and fighting it out together and doing good for the community together.
And also, I think the transparency that you guys have had with your audience of
Yeah.
we were going to call it quits. And look, there's redemption.
Yeah.
Like, I think that there's something to be said because if you've been married, you know that it can be hard. And so to then have somebody else on the other end saying it was hard, but we also worked through it and we came out on the other side. And I don't know, I think there's just something beautiful about you guys.
It's never too late.
It's
Like,
never
It
it's
is
never too late.
Yeah.
You can always make a change. Like, it's never too late. You just have to be willing to rip the Band-Aid off and address the issue.
Right. Right. So, like, you were talking earlier about children going into college and they're starting, one family night a week. I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
It's not actually too late for that.
I mean, but it did.
Right.
It just
They'll
blew-
have something there, but it's not much for a family culture.
right.
Yeah. I mean, they are girls, though. They had 2 daughters. So I
Yeah.
feel like by default,
It'll be a little bit easier.
it's going to be easier.
But
I
yeah.
feel like, I was definitely meant to be a boy mom. but also, I'm a little bit like, I'm just going to say it again. I'm so glad I have Lily because
Yeah.
I know that I'll have that one connection. Do you know what I mean? That she has. And I hope that, I don't know, this parenting gig.
It's hard. It's hard. Yeah.
But I did want to say, I'm so glad that you guys came to see us when we came to California.
Me too.
Because it started all of
Yes.
this. And you guys are some good friends.
Oh, thanks. Wait.
Could I talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
So you came to California and we drove for 4 hours to come meet you guys
Yes.
and then
meet
exchanged
up.
numbers. Like, that isn't weird to anybody on any level.
Because now that
Well,
we do
here's-
what you do, we're like, I mean, that might be weird.
No.
No, because
No,
by the
'cause here's what
so hold on a
happens.
second. This was October. We've been
So-
doing it since February.
Yeah.
So I did not give my numbers.
No.
I don't think I gave it to anybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like we'd
Oh,
already been
special.
messaging, hadn't we?
No. So
no, I don't think
no,
so.
we hadn't. So
Graham.
you guys are talking about coming to. I think there was 500 people at that meetup
There was.
because
It was a
huge
Primal
bunch of
Pastures was also promoting it.
Yes.
And you guys came through the line, and we did that in many areas. But
I just felt your energy, Meg.
Really?
I just felt
you
it
might
just
have been the
felt-
only
Lovely
person we got there. Not total strangers. So
Yeah. That we exchanged numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys were just.
And then, but the
something
real
about
question
it.
is, then how did you then keep contact? I don't know how you guys found stuff to contact each other about, but you did.
Well, you were
was good.
traveling.
Yeah, I
and
was
we
traveling.
were getting ready
and
to
they
travel.
and so then
Yeah.
she would ask questions, and I would ask her. I would check
that's
in with
why.
her and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, how you doing?
Right.
What's going on?
What's
What's happening?
yeah. Where you at?
I'd like to say it's.
You gonna come and see me?
That's
in-
right.
I'd like to
You
say it's
better.
in hindsight. Maybe it was in energy because we can't tell the future, but it was like you guys were homesteading, you're about to go on the road, and I believed you.
Yeah.
And I think I said this about a YouTube video I made about you guys when you were first coming here, and which you're gonna have to make that fire pit because you said you were gonna do it, and I think that's the whole point of the movie. It's like they said it, they're gonna do it.
Eventually.
It'll
I
happen.
believe it. I
Ben,
believe it. I
let
still
me
believe
tell
it.
you,
So
I've been on your end, and it just take as long as you need.
because a lot of people will say they're gonna do it or into it, and you just know it's just gonna be too hard. If somebody came and told me they were gonna on the farm tour, if somebody came and told me they were gonna go on a tour too, I would say I'm sorry,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I wasn't excited.
Having
for them.
done it now.
Now, if they said they're gonna homestead, I would say congratulations, and I'm sorry.
Well, I think with you guys, I don't know what it is, but like there was probably more people, but I don't know that I ever got the chance to.
You guys have experienced this, I'm sure. You've talked with somebody and you thought, I might like to get their number, but you can't just ask for their number and not ask for the other 30 people in line's
Well,
number.
it's just weird though. Like
I think
to
y'all were
be
last
like,
in the line.
Hey,
Close
you
to it.
guys
We were second to last.
So it
You guys
wasn't,
were,
so-
and I think then we messaged on Instagram first,
Yeah.
and then I was like, And it's just too hard to Instagram on
It is, yeah.
Instagram. So I was like, here's my cell phone number.
Right.
And I accidentally typed it in wrong.
You did? Because I
And
tried
then
to
you
text
like
you.
texted me, and then like you messaged me back on Instagram, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, that is wrong.
So,
Here's the real number. I did not mean to type that wrong number. And so then
2 years later, y'all are on that trip. I don't know if it's 2 years later, but it's
no, it was 18.
you guys are on that
It was
trip.
18.
Yeah,
And you're going around the nation, and you come to North Carolina. Of course, we take you in. We're happy to take you in.
I forced them.
And
I forced
Which
them
that-
to come
I
that's
here.
think
kinda
we
weird,
work out.
Drove here.
I think I talked to Meg.
Yes, but you did not
and-
want to stay here. I think you guys were going to stay in a.
Well, we didn't want to impose.
Yes, but I was like, you are coming here
Yeah.
and staying in my driveway.
They didn't know we were
are.
gonna. We didn't tell them we were gonna be on the Gap site, and we were gonna be very irritable.
Oh my goodness, irritable Justin. I was thinking about
Hold on
irritable
a
Justin the
second.
other
Hold on
day.
a second. Irritable Justin was later. We were not on
okay,
Gap
okay.
site yet.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
you
right.
were.
No,
Oh,
we
we
were
were?
not in the beginning.
Oh, not in the
No,
first,
no,
not in
not
the first
the very
one. That's
first
right.
time.
That's right.
But we did talk you into staying longer,
yes, yes,
so that
you
you
did.
could meet the
Okay, I think it was your
community.
second visit.
Yes,
but
the
anyway,
second
one of
visit
these
was
visits,
irritable Justin.
one of these visits,
irritable
we were already
Rebecca.
good friends. One of these visits, you were going to do an affiliate thing for us or something. And so I went in the house and I looked at, I went to type in your email. You gave me your email so I could do it. Well, I went and typed it in, and it came up in my history. And it was you 2 years ago telling us about your little homestead in California, saying to
Yeah.
come visit.
Because you were
So
going
I
on your
replied
tour.
and
Yeah.
said, I'm sorry I missed it, but will you come visit us?
I think we were sitting out in your driveway at that point.
I know
yeah.
you were.
I think what's funny is thinking about it now. It's like there's no way that bus would have fit like
No,
where we were.
we would have to stay in it.
And then we had one neighbor. He was an awesome neighbor, but he would have been up in our business, been like, "What's with the tour bus?"
Yeah.
We had one guy come by when we were staying in a neighborhood, and he goes, "Is this a party bus?"
Oh no,
Like, no, I have 4 children.
there ain't no parties
Keep
going
going.
on.
There is no party
Keep going.
happening here. We're trying to sleep, buddy.
That bus didn't look like a party bus.
No, not at
I
all.
know, but it was just hilarious. This guy
is pretty
is
Another reason to say no and shoo him on.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, right. No, but
All right.
and this is another thing I want to get out there. I lobbied hard for you guys to come here.
You
Yeah.
really did.
I was working.
So what
double
you're saying
time.
is basically it's why they're here.
no.
It's all
Everybody
Rebecca.
can
They made the
Rebecca, huh?
choice.
Everybody can
They
thank her.
made the right choice.
Y'all right time too. Right time.
I know.
Because I bet
tried
your
to get us to
property.
move down
I
the
bet your
street.
property is 4x already.
I did try to get you to move down the
You
street.
did.
I wanted it
Like
deeply.
our first visit.
I know. I was like, hey, there's a house for sale.
For sale down the street.
You want to go see
You know
it?
how much that is
out.
now? That house was for sale for 159, I think.
169.
It's 309 right now.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the side of a mountain.
It is the side of a mountain.
Yep.
It's not that bad. I was gonna try to talk you guys into moving there.
It's terrible.
So is North Carolina home?
oh yeah.
North Carolina's home.
Yeah, it is.
I was telling Meg a while ago, living this life. I used to always have a hard time with winters, even out in California where it's not very cold during wintertime, but it's dark. You still get the darkness, short days. I've always had a hard time with winter. Just depression, stuff like that. Like I've never been able to deal with the darkness. Moving out here, because there are seasons and there is a time for everything, especially living this life, there is something to do in every single season. And you better pay attention to changing weather. So out here, I've learned how to butcher. I have learned how to process animals. I have learned how to make cured meats. I've upped my smoking game on, smoking meats and all the things. And I've really had to step up my game as far as, all of that stuff. Well, out in California, it was warm year round. You couldn't do some of the stuff we do here. And now we start butchering animals whenever the weather's cold enough.
Right.
And basically the entire winter, I am busy putting animals in the freezer. I'm curing meats. I'm making various things, and I can do it without refrigeration because it gets cold enough
actually
here.
cold
It's
here.
actually cold here.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so something has happened over the past couple of years. I've been, doing this. We've been here, 6 years now?
Yeah.
And 5 years I've been processing a pig, at least one pig. Here lately, I think this past year I processed like 13 or 14 pigs
Yeah,
for our family.
It was so many pigs.
And so, like, you know, from never having my hand inside of an animal to moving out here, I'm nearing 100 animals, 100
Wow.
pigs I've done since, you know, leaving California. But what has happened is I no longer have the blues in wintertime. I look forward to the shorter days and the colder weather because that means it's meat season. It's butchering time.
Yeah.
It's a very old world feel, and I have purpose in the wintertime.
Hey,
And it's such a cool purpose too. Like
Yeah.
I'm putting this year's meat in the freezer, and what's cool is like any cuts I want, anything I want to
Yeah.
experiment with because I do all the cutting, we can do it.
Yeah.
And it's been the coolest thing. Like it has changed our culinary repertoire. Like all of a sudden, man, we're gonna have to double how many pigs and chickens we do just so we can play around with stuff.
Yeah.
Just
like,
so you can have all these
just so we
culinary
can-
delights.
just-
Yes.
Well, and-
right.
Taking something as simple as like a pork loin and realizing there's so many more things you can do with just a pork loin. It's just like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough pigs anymore. Like, how am I gonna make Canadian bacon? How am I gonna make lonzas? How am I gonna make
Baby, we got
pork
too many
chops?
pigs.
We do, but we don't. We're gonna run out of pigs this year.
I
It's,
know. I know.
pig math.
Yes.
Kind of.
Very much
A little
so.
different than chicken math.
Last year we discovered suckling pigs, and that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just, cook an entire little pig, and
Yeah.
What age do you?
so I've done them up
meat.
to about 100 pounds. and
Okay.
that's getting on.
I mean, they're not really suckling anymore,
Right.
but they're guinea hogs, so they're small. So
Yeah.
Where from like 25 pounds up to like 60 pounds is a good size for us.
Okay.
Just depends. I don't know. Like next week is Corbin's birthday,
Yeah.
and he straight up said, "Dad, I want a suckling pig for my birthday." I was like, "No problem.
yeah.
We got
It has to fit in the barbecue.
it. Has
Right.
to fit in the smoker."
Yeah. Right.
And then he's like, "But can I butcher it?"
Aw.
Yeah, he wants
like,
to
"You
get
serious?"
it and do the whole thing.
He's
Oh, fun.
like he
Is he
really
gonna
wants
shoot
to.
it?
He wants to learn this. If he wants to, yeah.
you shoot them when they're little, or you use a sledgehammer?
Depends on which
These
one
ones
you
I
go.
could probably use a hammer. There's
Didn't
been some bigger ones that I just use a 22.
our kids all killed lambs this year? I think.
Did they?
Yeah.
And
everybody
what
killed
else did
mine.
they kill? There was something else that they castrated.
Oh,
Everybody
did they?
castrated.
Yeah.
I
Everybody
was
got a
surprised
turn
Jonah hadn't castrated.
on the castration. I think Lily even did it.
Yeah, Lily did it.
For her.
Just like I'm like, all right. They came in. They're like, we castrated.
Lily has no reticence. She's a female.
Yeah.
It's the boys that they're
We-
like
we
scratching the
deal with-
chalkboard.
yeah.
When you're cutting those nuts
I know.
out.
All the boys are like, and I'm like, yeah, I'll hold the pig, whatever. Like, I don't care. I'm the one who
It's a
kills the
little too close.
chickens. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I'll hold the pig, whatever.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, people always say, "Oh, on this way of farming, the animal only has one bad day." No, it's not true if they're a male.
That's
True
true.
if they're a
They
male.
have two pretty bad
Two
days.
bad days.
Bad days.
Only one of them you can remember.
Yes.
The other, one,
know,
the
I
other
would-
one they
I
don't
would
even know
say-
is coming. So
Right.
maybe it
The-
is only one bad
The
day.
male pigs really only have one bad day as long as you're a good shot.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we try to stick with the one bad day.
Yeah.
And it's not even a bad day because they don't.
No, they
realize.
don't remember it if you get it right.
Right,
But if you
right.
miss it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a bad day for everybody. Isn't that the worst feeling in the world to miss?
It is the
is,
worst
yeah.
feeling in the world,
Yeah.
especially the way that animal looks at you, because it no longer trusts you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't do it. We weren't shooting it. Our very first cow, the guy missed.
Oh no.
What was his name? I can't remember.
I
He's
don't know.
gone.
He's gone.
He was so
dead.
old. He got out of the
was
truck,
that
and I was like, he
Napoleon
has to
Dynamite
be
scene.
90 years old. I mean, the man was old,
Oh goodness.
and he shot most of them just fine. But the one that we had like
And just running around the field. bleeding.
blood coming out of its nose, I was like, dear Lord, help us, I pray.
And that was your first cow.
bad. It was our
first one you had.
So we just made a lot of mistakes. As
We
one
had a
does.
friend. A friend wanted to come out and bring his little daughter for that one too.
Oh.
And she's sitting there in her pink puffy
funny.
jacket with the fur around the thing.
She was a prissy little girl.
She was prissy, and she's sitting in her little chair, little camping chair, and she's eating her snack.
Oh, no.
It didn't phase her.
Oh, good.
She was not phased. I mean, like, she was dressed in pink, but she was okay with it all.
Yeah.
But it was, so we had bought one cow, and we meant to get a steer,
Well.
and we ended up getting a female. Was this that one? Was this A1? Did A1 run away?
A1 was the one who ran away.
You had a cow run away?
Oh yeah. So we picked out
our very
a
first cow.
steer with a farmer, and he brought
A heifer.
a heifer.
Oh, no.
And so we just got one.
And we just got one because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And so then
So
every
in-
3
af-
weeks she starts acting a fool.
Oh, no.
And she's walking the fence. We're thinking, what is wrong
she
with her?
wore
She would
a
wear out this
calf.
pass.
Oh,
She would
my.
bellow, and I'd go out there and try to figure it out.
And we're like, does she
and then
not
she'd
have
just
enough
stop.
grass?
And then it'd come again. And then one day I woke up and she was not there.
Oh, my goodness.
She's gone.
And the problem was I'd sold her.
We
I
sold the meat.
pre-sold her.
Told me this story a
all
while
these
ago.
other people. This is our first experience. All
Oh,
these other people on
yikes.
the line. And I'd had spent the money on,
The fencing and
the
stuff,
labor
I know.
and surviving.
She
So
went
it's
to go
counting
get
on
her
that.
boyfriend.
I mean, it's a week we gave up. I mean, I looked all over the place.
We drove around. Jonah was 18
Finally.
months old. I was pregnant with Josiah.
Oh,
Finally, I had this
gosh.
gumption. It's been a couple of days. I said, I'm going to go over the mountain. And I went 5 miles over the mountain in a four-wheeler. And then got to the very end. I thought I'd give up and got out and went to pee. And then next to a fence, I saw these hoofs marks. And I followed it into a broken part of the fence.
Oh, my
And went in there.
goodness.
There was a herd of 20 Angus or so.
She'd found
And
her
we were
boyfriend.
like,
And I
"Mhm,
went
she's
and-
in there.
Yeah, she found her a
He
boyfriend.
ran
And I
all
went-
the way around.
And I learned my lesson. And I said to that farmer, you got an extra cow? And he did. And I said, well, do you have 3 more for sale? Never raise
A
just one
single,
cow,
Right.
especially a heifer.
Right. Right.
Because even if they have another female, though,
Salty peppers.
It was wild.
they're still okay. But
Betty. It was a wild ride.
Yeah.
And then that's the one that
yeah, and then we didn't even give her a good death, did we?
I know.
Oh, that's a bummer.
It was a bummer. And we were just, it was just me and Justin. And then Jonah was 18 months old and I was pregnant with Josiah. That we killed those cows the week before I gave birth.
Oh, my goodness.
So, so we were just a really small family. We kept 1/4 of the cow.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like, we need 3 cows at least a year
Right,
to
yes.
survive, to keep us in meat.
Yep.
And that's just one that's just one source of meat. That's not including the chicken and the turkey
Right.
and the pork. There's
yeah.
so much. We
All
eat
of it.
so much meat.
So do we. Yeah. I mean,
So to wrap this up, what is next for people watching and for y'all's YouTube? What is going to be the next adventure, homestead thing, or whatever that you look forward to, that people who watch your show can look forward to?
You looked right at me
did.
without hesitation.
on you, baby.
Is he the boss of the YouTube now?
He is.
But he
is the
wasn't
boss.
always.
No, I started it.
You started it.
Yeah.
You got to finish it.
Yeah.
This has been something we've talked about a lot. We aren't sure what direction we want to go with it. We're going to continue doing it because we enjoy doing what we're doing. We like documenting it. But we kind of have this feeling that there's a change coming. We don't know what it is. Don't know what direction. But in the meantime, there's a whole bunch of building going on this year. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're building. We're finishing an addition on our house. It'd be kind of cool if we could get to everything on our list that we want to get to this year.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. We sat down. We wrote out a list.
It's like
year's
here's
goals.
like step by step. Here's the order that everything has to happen. We are
A
not
to B to C.
yeah,
to D.
and we're not touching this project until
Oh.
this project's
Yeah.
done.
Yes.
So
Because
So
we're guilty of that. It's like,
I mean,
we
who
have this
isn't? Who
project, and then we're like,
homesteads?
oh, let's go over here and do this thing. And
Oh,
then,
definitely.
that one gets
the
'cause
worst.
the one you want to do, it's the sexier one, right?
Right.
You don't want
You
to
don't
clean
want to
up
like
and
finish.
fix what you already have.
Right.
You
Yeah.
want to start something different.
Yeah.
having a baby last year really kind of put the brakes on everything we were doing.
It did, yeah. She was a great
And
baby.
she was a great baby. Like she slept good. She,
fantastic baby.
you know, I can hold her, and Meg can go off and have a shower and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Go to the bathroom.
That's nice.
Yeah, like she's just been the easiest baby. But like last year, we didn't hardly even grow a garden
Yeah.
because it was like we're gonna have a baby right in like the middle of garden season.
Yeah.
Let's not
Good call.
put in a huge
Yeah,
garden.
right.
Let's not expect canning to happen. Like
Good
let's just
call.
take it easy.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with sitting around is the more you sit around, the more you sit around.
Yeah.
And so
Kind of in this
we're
rut
just
now.
in this rut right now where we've sat around for almost a whole year now. That baby's almost 10 months old. So it's been 10 months of like I've gained 20 pounds since this baby was born.
Having another
Like
baby.
I have the baby weight.
Meg lost it. You found it.
Yep. So
Someone said to us once.
That's what happened to us at the farm
Oh,
tour.
no.
Rebecca lost it. Justin found it.
so it's just we are realizing sitting is not the best thing for us to do. We've never been people to sit around, and we've sat around a lot in the past year, and it's like it's killing us.
It-
Like
yeah,
we're
it really
ready to nut up because we've sat around so much.
Good.
So yeah.
I
The
think there is
show
something though
goes
to
on.
say to showing the
think that's neat.
seasons of life. Like you're having a baby in May, that is prime time working season.
Right.
And hey,
I'm
guys,
proud of you guys for sitting down on that.
Yeah, honestly, I know you're like it's driving you crazy, but I think there's something so healing in doing that, in resting, but then also just showing that you're human. Because I'm listening to this course, and the one thing I love about it is that she's like grace upon grace upon grace for yourself, and I'm like, because so many times with health things, people are like
Right.
very staunch and like, if you don't do this, then you don't get this, and then you
Right.
don't get this, and then it's all messed up. And this is what I love about this course actually, is that she's just like, this would be best, but also I realize that you have a schedule and you have a family and you have this and you have that in your life. So I just want to encourage you both that
for that.
it's coming and your list is going to get done.
Eventually.
Eventually.
I mean,
and I always
the
tell
list is never
people-
done.
I always tell people homesteading serves us. We don't serve
Yeah.
homesteading.
Yep.
That means if you're going to have a baby in May, it's okay to not have a garden.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
I think that's where we hit last year, where we were like, oh gosh, we are slaves to our homestead. And we were not having fun anymore. And it was like, this is going to change.
Like
Yeah.
when I finally realized I was not having fun, it was because I realized I was married to the milk cow.
the cow, yeah.
And it was like, I can't do anything outside of the cow schedule. This is driving me nuts.
Right.
And so I was like, let's get rid of her.
Yeah.
Couldn't get her bred anyways. So it
Yeah.
was just one of those things. It was,
She needed to go
she needed to go.
for multiple reasons. Yeah.
We are in the market for another dairy cow, but things will be different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we learned a lot with our first dairy cow. But
As one does.
yeah. So, with all that, I guess it's just a learning. And the more you do things, the more you learn about what you want and what you expect out of yourself.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, I'm excited to see this cow
Oh,
when
somewhere.
she
You-
comes
you have,
comes to you. No pressure. Yes,
Rebecca
ma'am.
has gave us one word for 2025.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
rebuild.
Recover.
Build.
No, it's
No,
recover.
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 That's right. Recover.
Because last
which is
year was
different
just
than
a
rebuild.
doozy, as
It was a
everyone
doozy
knows.
for a lot before
It
Helene
was-
even hit.
I know. It was
Yeah.
a doozy before Helene hit, and then Helene just like packed it on
Because you
more.
we had your mom, the loss of your
Yeah.
mom.
Right.
The,
and your
the,
house
the loss of the
bill.
farm. It's helped us though, because I started you talking about sexy jobs. I'm starting to put a hoop over the chicken run, and it's going to be this awesome. Warm them up in the winter, and we'll have vines on it in the summer. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Our word for the year is recover.
Right.
I need to be more focused on
Recover.
the rocks coming back upstream from the hurricane, and
Yeah.
just maintaining the garden we have and the animals that we have. It's not as fun and exciting. It's good to have a
You
word
know,
like that.
Honestly, like, yeah, there's just
us focused.
Yeah, it is good, because then we start thinking like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and it's like, wait a minute,
Run it through that
does
filter.
it go with the word recover? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, we can't do it.
Right.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much too soon of whatever.
It sounds
So-
like your word is build.
Yeah, I think something along those lines
Yep.
would be.
A lot of people's
or it could be rediscover,
Yeah.
because you've got to reframe the homestead for it.
Yeah. And what we
Did you
want.
say rediscover?
Rediscover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rediscover.
Yeah, like you're talking about redoing a cow. Like
Yeah.
you got to rediscover how you do a family cow.
Because I think that, and I think that when we create content surrounding what we're doing in our lives, it can feel just really pressured
Yeah, I feel
To
pressure to
be-
be doing something.
to be doing
exciting.
something all the time, and so like it can be difficult, but also at the same time, like, what are we wanting to show about this? We want to show the realness
That's
of it
true.
all, and so I think that showing that having a baby in May, and this is what, because we see those people online who they either are lying
Right.
or they have a lot of help,
Yeah.
Or they're only showing the exciting.
or they're only showing, but they have so much content. They have to be. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
where it's coming from. I haven't. And I don't have enough time to even think about these people. They can do their thing, but then those people see that. People see that, and then they come over and see our stuff, and then they're like, "Oh, well, you're not doing anything with this, and you're not doing
Yeah.
anything with that." And I'm not saying we should listen to those people, but I'm just saying that it can feel like there's a pressure.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And so I think that maybe what makes the magic for your YouTube channel is the fact that you guys are real and transparent,
is.
and
It
you're
is.
showing the ebbs and flows, because isn't that what isn't
Real
that what
life.
life is
Yeah,
all
real
about, is the
life.
ebbs and
Yeah,
flows?
yeah.
Like people who are just like putting out content after content, I'm like,
Well, you showed that you got a cow. You're excited. It's working.
yeah.
And then you
you're
show that it's
like,
not.
It's not working
It's
for
not
us
working.
anymore.
Yeah.
So we gotta
People would come through
go.
our line and say, "Oh, we love your show. Thanks. It's so encouraging." And I would just say, "Oh, right. Thank you." And I would be so happy and honored about that. But after a couple of years, I was like, "What? What am I doing?" And I didn't know. I don't know. I didn't know it was. I didn't set out to be an encouragement. My goal was to make people laugh and to make them learn something in every show. That's it. And then they're being this encouraged and inspiration, and I'm like, so finally I started asking them after they said that. I said, "Well, what is it?" "Oh, you show the failures."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's encouraging." Okay, I got this.
Yeah, we can fail. We can fail big time.
Watch me fail.
That's right.
You got no problem. I'm never gonna run out of content.
I know.
Oh man.
I'm telling myself that now. Our cow's near drying off, and she may have mastitis and
Oh, man.
tooth eats.
Yeah.
So,
And the fact that they're going to be giving birth so close together. Like the whole reason you have
Yeah.
2 cows is
It's
that
so you
and
strap
we
her.
haven't had to worry about that.
Yeah.
It just worked out,
Yeah.
that-
Right.
But now all of a sudden they're doing it at the same
we
time.
think that He-Man wasn't able to.
He couldn't reach, I don't think.
He was too small.
Bless him.
Poor guy.
And so then finally he grew enough that he could, and then the next one gave birth.
Yeah.
And so now we're gonna have to really we're gonna
have to plan it.
We're gonna have to plan
God
it. We've
forbid, we're
never
gonna
had
have
to
to plan
plan before. We've never had to plan. It has
Yeah.
always worked out that we at least had like 3 or 4
It's been
months.
6 years. We've been milk every single day for 6 years.
Wow.
Oh wow.
365 days a year.
So
Amazing. So and now you're gonna have all the
At
milk
least
up
one
front.
cow.
I know now we're gonna have like so much milk
Right.
at
I'm
once.
gonna have to not let them get bred again at the same time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep them separate. Keep the bowl away.
Because like what you said, as soon as people don't know this, as soon as they have a calf, you get a lot of milk,
Right. All the
and then
milk.
it
Tapers off.
tapers
I
off,
know.
and so it's good to stagger it. And it used to be good to stagger it because we used to dry them off 2 months before they were. But the problem was this time we didn't know when they got pregnant. We never saw the action.
It was all very
So-
discreet. I'm like, what in the world? I've never seen such discreetness.
But I
They're
learned
modest cows.
Oh, very
cow.
modest.
He's a
I
modest
learned from the
bull.
Dohertys. Okay, you know them, real homesteaders. They never dry off before the calf is born.
They said, yeah.
They
you
don't feed
have to.
alfalfa. They give the cow hay in the stanchion, if they give them anything in the
Okay.
stanchion,
They're so cool.
and
Go to their house.
just
You
milk
should
right
go
up to the end.
They would love to have you guys. I'm just inviting
Anyway,
you to their
that's
house.
That's very
another-
kind of you. Thanks.
You're inviting them to.
Are they
Is their
coming
house
here?
done yet?
They are.
I don't know if it
They're
is.
coming here in September.
They are
Hey,
coming
cool.
in September.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, we're really
We're
excited.
gonna do a live
Cheese making.
cheese making.
Can I come?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
totally.
Tell me when it's
Like how you
September.
whispered that.
And-
What?
We might.
What did you say?
We have a possible engagement in September, but if I'm available,
You
I would-
do 2 engagements in September.
Yeah, I might. I'll come to
She's
your
only
house.
got-
I'll come to your house.
One September. Talk about a slow live.
I know, right? No,
I'm
that's,
already doing one thing in September.
I mean, isn't it?
Can you move them to October?
Can you tell we're hermits?
Yeah.
Oh, we already have one thing in September.
Don't know that I can
I
make
might
a
be busy
second.
No, I'm saying I
things
might
is
be out
too
of
much.
town.
Oh, okay.
Might be out of town. but
Okay. Well, hopefully you're not.
Hopefully I'm
and you can
not.
come
I would
and
love to come make.
come make cheese with us.
Yes.
Trying to think of when these cows are giving birth, if we'll have enough milk. Yeah, we will. Because I think we have no idea when they're gonna. And I don't want to call the vet out to do
Preg check.
I mean,
Or like a,
we know
yeah.
they're pregnant,
Right, or yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that
like a-
was our concern. Is like we really don't want to dry them off in case they're not pregnant. You know,
Right,
the whole
right.
concern.
Oh,
So
yeah, that would be cool.
one year we had Phyllis. We never saw her get bred. And so we had the vet out and she did the ultrasound. It was so cool. It
Yeah.
was really neat. I'm really glad we did it one time just so we could experience it.
Right.
But I'm like, it's not worth how much money we paid. Now we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants with these guys.
You'll get a cow eventually. Or calf.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have
One will
2
come.
calves growing up to be cows.
Yes.
have
So
4
we
calves.
have two. One we know is
Stud muffins,
A2,
babies.
and then we're going to see what the next
So
one.
we're
We
gonna
need
have
to
4
pull her
cows.
tails. Yeah.
Well, you eat a lot, so.
These boys, they drink so much
We
milk.
still don't make our own cheese.
Oh,
I know we
no.
don't
All
have
the milk.
enough.
We either use all the milk, cream, butter, yogurt. We don't have nothing left over for cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Even with 2 milk cows.
That was kind of our struggle.
Yeah,
like,
we'd have to cut them off and say, don't drink any milk. You know, this is going to be
Right.
cheese.
Take a break.
Brad will drink a gallon of milk a day if I let him.
I know. It's
He'd probably
wild.
drink more if I let him, but like I have to cut him off.
It's nice that we have the milk fridge on a different level because they have to work for it now.
Yeah.
They have to go down the stairs
They
and
have
back
drink
up
a lot
again.
less milk.
right.
Just
Yeah.
because it's not right there in the kitchen.
That's right.
That's a hack for you.
Yeah, we've got ours out in the the
Just
the
move
shed
fridge
fridge.
further away.
I mean, we buy our milk, but
Right.
Well,
it's
what
still
they
back out
what they
there.
Make some
do
work.
is everybody's taken to they'll drink until there's that much milk left,
And then
and then
nobody
I
wants
get
to
up in the
drink.
morning and
Yeah.
go to get some milk for my coffee, and there's not enough for.
because the rule is if
Coffee.
you empty it, you got to go get more milk.
Yeah.
So they leave that
We're
much.
not dumb.
One of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up on the wrong side of the bed,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna walk in there and wake them all up at 5 in the morning and be like, which one of y'all left a drop of milk in this jug? Go get more milk out of the back fridge. You get to walk out in the cold this morning.
Doesn't Tim Hawkins have a joke about that? Would you leave that much milk? And what am I going to have, a cornflake?
Yes.
Apparently, this is a problem across the board.
It is.
Enough for a comedian to make a joke about it. Somebody's going to have 1 cornflake in their cereal.
It's like there's not enough, but I can have one cornflake. Actually, Ben, I was going to tell you, I now have a mocha pot. And I steam milk so that I can have a latte because I came to y'all's house and
Yeah.
you served me a latte.
Did I get you hooked on those? Aren't they
right.
aren't they bomb?
You
It's so good.
got
So now I put like an egg yolk in it.
that's
And
fancy.
Kaylee, what's her last name? The bee lady.
Richardson.
Kaylee Richardson, yes. She sent me some of her mushroom stuff, so I put that in there, a little
nice.
bit of maple syrup.
Oh, there you go. You get
coffee.
fancy,
Fancy
latte.
latte.
And I put protein powder in my milk. And like as I steam it, because I gotta get protein, because you know
Right.
protein's all about protein now that I'm
Isn't
45.
that- Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So yeah, so if you're gonna do something, I gotta have something with protein in it. So I put
Right.
protein powder in it too. So I'm like,
Open up your own Starbucks.
I mean, I think they're pretty delicious myself, but I mean, it's not like I looked at getting a machine. I was like, I don't want to spend that much
It's
money.
they're-
so much
they're
money,
either,
and they take
you know,
up this much space.
They're either $100 for the one I've got, or they're like $1,000 for a massive
And
appliance.
there's no in between.
And I'm like, I just really want to have like one a week.
Yeah.
So that's why I bought the mocha pot, and then I
a
bought
great
like one of the
idea.
little frothers for $10. So I'm like working on like $30 here.
That's fantastic. And it takes up this much
I
space
know.
in
There's
your
no. The only problem is my kids, like, I'll put the mocha pot, like, over by the sink to be washed. And then they just take it and they put it up in the cabinet. And then I open it up and there's still coffee in it. I'm like,
Oh, no. Oh.
really, guys?
Oh.
All right, well, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Good luck
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
This
us.
was fun.
on the
This was great.
Rediscover. If folks want to follow you, they can go to Hollar Homestead.
And find us on YouTube.
Yep.
Yep.
Just on YouTube.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram. So
Yeah. Just a little bit.
that's right.
Thanks.